Chapter 3903. Fourth more. Indeed, if Jian Wushuang is willing, he can suppress these four masters by turning his hands. You should know that although the other three are more ordinary, the normal level is the strongest in the darkest zone. The one who can be headed by the red one is comparable to the emperor. If Jian Wushuang can overcome its suppression, it will definitely be a great help to him. But Sword Unparalleled did not do so. These four were arrested by the order of the Lord of the Dragons. If I directly suppressed the four of them with the tokens of the disciples of Hongyan, who would report to the Lord of Dragons? Jian Wushuang smiled. Master, are you deliberately leaving them to report to attract the Dragon Lords? Are you trying to subdue the Dragon Lords? The Emperor's eyes saw a hint of horror. Lord, that is one of the 10 kings in the first floor of this eternal dark prison. If you can conquer it, it would be the best. Jian Wushuang smiled. I not only let them go back to report, even I have just deliberately exposed the second rule of treasure that I have, naturally to invite you to join me. The Emperor's look of had fully understood. These four will report back to the Dragon Castle, and come with the Dragon Lord again. I am afraid it will take some time. We will wait for him in this 42nd area. Jian Wushuang smiled. Dicha, the 42nd dark area is your place. You should be clear about the strong ones here. I need you to help me find them, let them fight with me, and help me cultivate. This is a trivial matter, please follow me, master. Emperor Dicha immediately led Jian Wushuang towards the place where the strongest men in the 42nd dark zone were located. As for the red one who dominates the four, he really intends to report back to the Dragon Castle. However, among the four, Wanggu Demon and Su Xinhou stayed in this 42 dark area. They also stayed to monitor Jian Wushuang and figure out the exact location of Jian Wushuang. After all, they had just fought against Jian Wushuang, and Jian Wushuang also knew that they were sent by the Demon Dragon Lord. Although this time they returned without success, it may not be the next time. So if Jian Wushuang is a little smarter, he will quickly leave this dark area, go elsewhere, or even find a place to hide. The Red One's dominion took this into consideration, so that the 10,000-bone Demon King and Su Xinhou stayed, just to wait for the Demon Dragon Lord to land in person, and be able to directly find the location of the Sword Wushuang. It's just that they didn't think of it. Jian Wushuang didn't mean to leave or hide at all. Instead, he continued to challenge the strong in the 42nd Dark Zone. In the realm of Magic Dragon, there is a huge immortal castle, which is the Magic Dragon Castle. As one of the 10 recognized kings on the first level of the Eternal Dark Prison, the entire Dragon Domain is the domain of this Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord has always been supreme in the Dragon Domain, and no one dares to provoke it. Although they are all one of the top 10 kings, the ancestor of the Demon Dragon is different from the Lonely Star Demon ancestor. The Star Demon ancestor looks like a fairy, but there is a big devil in his bones, with strange and cruel means, and has a special hobby. He likes livestock and animals, and he can't find this in the entire Eternal Dark Prison. On the premise of livestock animals, he directly turned a practitioner into a livestock animal by special means for his pleasure. Therefore, in the castles of the ancestors of the demon, there are all kinds of livestock and animals. But the Dragon Lord's love is more normal. He likes beautiful women, so there are a lot of beautiful women in this dragon castle. Of course, these so-called beauties are actually prisoners detained in this eternal dark prison. They may not be strong themselves, but they can only take pleasure in the Demon Dragon Lord, which is extremely moisturizing in this Demon Dragon Domain. Huge monster dragon castle, inside the Grand Hall. The sturdy old man covered with a hazy black cloth was lying on the bed, and there were 4 beautiful ladies waiting around. The strong old man's eyes were cloudy, and the exposed skin had a faint black luster. And the most striking thing was that the strong old man also had a dark unicorn on his head. This one corner is extremely sharp, as if it can pierce the world. He is the Lord of the Dragon, the absolute overlord of the Dragon Domain. Lord! A red lord of a black robe came to the hall. Hongyi, are you back? The murky eyes of the Dragon Lord slowly opened, scanning Hongyi's dominion. Although the red one is also a woman, and she is not bad, The Dragon Lord has no interest in the red one. The Lord of the Blood Sword, have you brought it back? The Dragon Lord asked. Back to the Lord, no. Hong Yi, the leader, shook his head. Can't bring it back. The Dragon Lord frowned, but immediately spread out again. I didn't bring it back. I brought back the corpse. The main thing was to bring back the ruler's precious sword, which is also good. Lord, we were not able to bring the Blood Sword Master back to www. Nor could we kill him. Hong Yi ruled martyr. What are you talking about? The Lord Dragon got up, looked at Hong Yi's eyes with a trace of cold waste. The Lord angered. The Red One Lord explained in shock immediately. I and 4 others took the Lord's order to catch the Lord of the Blood Sword. But when we found him, he was in the 42 dark area. And I don't know why I have been with the Emperor Dazak. We said that it was the Lord who ordered you to invite the Lord of the Blood Sword. But the Emperor Dashi did not give face at all, and was still very tough. In the end he could only fight. Imperial break? The Dragon Lord looked cold. There are many strong players in the Demon Dragon realm, of which the most prominent Emperor dominates, he naturally knows. Not only did he know that he had also met with Dizak Master, or even had a deal with Dizak Master, but that time Dizak Master had escaped by chance. Although he still kept some whole cards at that time, the strength and means of the Emperor's dominance were unparalleled. So, the reason why you failed to bring back the Lord of the Blood Sword is because Emperor Break intervened? Said the Dragon Lord. Not all of them. Hong Yi shook his head. Although the Emperor is strong, I can fight with him quite well, and I will entangle him, and the Dark Fire Bone, and Sushin will take action against the Lord of the Blood Sword. But who would have thought that the Lord of the Swords knows an extremely powerful bodyguard? The Guardian Sword Array cannot regret even the strongest attack method of the Emperor. The Emperor also met the Lord of the Blood Sword because of this. Although the 3 people Dark Fire, Bone and Sushin joined forces, they can do the same. Not the Lord of the Blood Sword. Hong Yi dominated one by one. End of this chapter. Chapter 3904. Fifth more. Lord, the 4 of us have indeed shown everything, but still have no chance of killing the Lord of the Blood Sword. So I can only return to report to the Lord first. In addition, this time with the Dark Fire, Bones, and Heart, when the 3 were besieging the Lord of the Blood Sword, they did not gain anything at all. Hong Yi ruled. Harvest. What's the harvest? The ancestor of the dragon was still cold. Although the 3 of them could not break the body, sword of the Lord of the Blood Sword, but by other means, they also forced the Lord of the Blood Sword to reveal a lot of whole cards. In addition to realizing a trace of the universe, he himself is a practitioner of the perfect level of life. In addition, in his hands, in addition to the known rule arcane sword, there is a second rule arcana. What? The second rule is precious? The dragon ancestor's eyes narrowed sharply. The rule of treasure is that in the universe, only the 4th series, and even the 5th series dominate. In the first layer of the eternal dark prison, the most detained is the 3rd level master. Although there are too many detained masters, some of them are opportunistic, or have a good background. Relationship, there are several rules of treasure, but the number is still poor. For example, his Lord of Dragons has no rule of treasure in his hand. Before he wanted them to dominate the sword Wuxia, they were to obtain the sword magic sword of the sword. But now the Lord of Red One tells him that there is a second rule of treasure in the hands of the Lord of the Blood Sword. What is the second rule of the Blood Sword Lord? Asked the Dragon Lord. It is a special steel, and it should be the treasure of the law of suppression. Hong Yi ruled. The law of suppression is precious steel? The Dragon Lord looked suddenly and said, what is the size of the steel? And is there anything strange on the surface? The steel is very large, and it is very large. It contains golden secret patterns on the surface, and the golden secret patterns are extremely esoteric and complicated. Hong Yizhu replied. Mr. Zhang? The golden secret? The Lord Dragon's eyes lit up completely. It's not wrong, it's it. Haha. God help me too. Lord Dragon Lord laughed directly. Lord. Hong Yi Lord looked at the Dragon Lord in doubt, wondering why the Dragon Lord was so happy. Could it be that the rule in the hands of the Lord of the Blood Swords to the gemstone steel is of no great use to the Dragon Lord? The Lord of the Dragons didn't explain too much, but just groaned on his own. Well, it's 10,000 feet high, and there are a lot of golden steels on the surface. It is a treasure of repressive laws. No accident should be the old scorpion, the town monument that I was looking for. The old scorpion itself has 2 such town monuments, but he still so desperately wants to get the 3rd one. To this end, he has promised great benefits and conditions. Not surprisingly, it should be 3 only when the Zune are combined can they exert their real power. And now the Lord of the Blood Sword has a town steel. If I can get it, although I do need it, I can talk to the old scorpion. The old scorpion has been held in the eternal dark prison for the longest time, and has the deepest foundation. He also has the most magic arrays in his hands. It is rumored that in addition to the 2 town monuments in his hands, he has 3 rules. One of them is a rule stick of great treasure, which is of great use to me. The rule is a treasure stick. I once asked him bitterly, and was even willing to pay a huge price. He was unwilling to exchange it for me. But as long as I got the Jintian monument, he would be afraid will obediently come to me with that bag of rule treasures. The Dragon Lord's eyes flashed with strange light, and the corner of his mouth also had a cold smile. Hong Yi, where is the Lord of the Blood Sword now? The Dragon Lord looked down. When I came back to you to report to the Lord, I deliberately left Wan Gu and Su Xian to monitor the movement of the Lord of the Blood Sword. In addition, Su Xian also had my special token. I could sense Su Zin's the location is still in the 42nd Dark Zone, and obviously the Lord of the Blood Sword did not leave there. Hong Yi ruled. Haha, you did a good job. Although you didn't bring back the Lord of the Blood Sword this time, at least it brought me good news. It is hard work. When I catch the Lord of the Blood Sword, I will good reward for you. Demon Dragon Lord laughed. Thank the Lord. Hong Yi the Lord rejoiced but followed. Lord, the Lord of the Blood Sword is extremely weak, and the Emperor is surrounded by him. He wants to kill him or capture him. I can't do it alone. I'm afraid that you can be sure to take down the Lord only if you take the shot yourself. I understand. The Lord of the Dragons nodded slightly. Emperor alone is very difficult. Even if I do it myself, I have to pay some price to kill him. If the Lord of the Blood Sword and the Guardian Sword formation are so good that even the strongest means of attack by Emperor Shakespeare cannot be moved, it would be more difficult to kill him than to kill Emperor Shades. This matter is of great significance. I don't want to make any mistakes. Hong Yi, you immediately go and invite the Stonefire. Go to the Lord of Mars. In the Dragon Domain, there are many strong men, and they are good at various means. The Lord of Mars, in the domain of the dragon, is a very special being. This stone Martian master is not very powerful, but just like the Blood Rain demon in the 9th Dark Area. What he is good at is the formation method. What's more, his understanding of the Matrix method has already reached an incredible level. If it is said that Blood Rain Demon's understanding of the Matrix method can barely be ranked in the top 20, or even the top 10 of the first layer of the Eternal Dark Prison, then this Stone Martian Master, his understanding of the Matrix method, is the Eternal Dark Prison 1 floor is recognized first. In other words, no one can match him in the first layer of the Eternal Dark Prison, simply on the attainments of the battlefield. Even the Blood Rain Demon is far worse than him. However, although the formation is powerful, but his own strength is not strong, so he cannot become a king. But even if he is not a king, ordinary kings do not dare to have any stand when they see him. They are all kind. This is the case of the Demon Dragon Lord. Although the Lord of Mars has been living in the Demon Dragon domain all year round, the Demon Dragon Lord did not dare to order the other party. But he only had to go to the Red to invite, and even if he invited, he had to pay some. The price can really make the Lord of Mars promise to help him. End of this chapter. Chapter 3905. 6 more arrived today. Demon Domain, one of the dark areas. Above the vast void, the 2 masters of the 3rd series are furiously fighting together, and the battle is extremely fierce. Bang Rong. The world is dim, and all the terrible divine powers dissipate wildly. Halfway, The two were separated. Haha, Jinjia. You and I are in this dark area together. I have met each other many times. Every time you want to kill me. But in the end you can't help me. You can only watch me leave. And this time it's the same. A young man with purple hair stood there and gave a hearty laugh. You are terrific. In recent years, my marksmanship has improved and my strength has improved. I thought I could kill you, but it still looks a lot worse. The other man was wearing gold armor, just like gold tall man like God of War pouted. Knowing that you can't kill me, see me later, don't waste time. The purple-haired demon youth laughed and was about to leave. Suddenly, a loud voice sounded suddenly. Horse barking. The purple-haired demon youth and the man in the golden armor were all moving. This is the eternal dark prison. Where can there be horses? Could it be? The two men immediately looked up and looked at the source of the horse's scream. Sure enough, a luxurious carriage with white wings and a long white horse pulled down slowly. On the wagon carriage, there was a person sitting there. It was a handsome man with white hair and white hair. This handsome man closed his eyes slightly, exuding a unique and elegant atmosphere, like a fairy. Seeing this man, the purple-haired demon youth suddenly changed dramatically with the man in the golden armor. Star Demon Patriarch. It's the ancestor of Star Demon. Both were frightened. The 10 most powerful kings in the first layer of Eternal Dark Prison. The Star Demon ancestors are one of them. And the Star Demon ancestors did not occupy a large area. Not because he had no strength to occupy, but did not have that interest. No one knows the quirks of the Eternal Dark Prison. He was only interested in those livestock animals in his palm. In addition, the Star Demon ancestor also has a special title, which is recognized by the Eternal Dark Prison, the first demon. He's a complete pervert, a lunatic. He likes to turn people into livestock animals and play tricks. But any practitioner who falls into the hands of this ancestor of the Star Devil will die. In the Eternal Dark Prison, there were many people who have been caught by the ancestors of Star Devil and tortured for a long time. These people all hated this Star Demon ancestor to the extreme, but all of them also feared the extreme. Just like the ancient night demon, who fortunately escaped from the Eternal Dark Prison. He was once caught by the Star Demon ancestor and turned into a livestock, tortured for 1 billion years. So he hated the Star Demon ancestor extremely when Wu Jianshuang entered the Eternal Dark Prison. The only condition was that Jian Wushuang had to find a way to kill the Star Demon ancestor for him. There is no doubt that the ancestor of the Star Devil is a demon known to everyone in the Eternal Dark Prison. But there is nothing he can do. Star Demon Patriarch. We actually met Star Demon Patriarch? How did this Star Demon ancestor appear in the Demon Dragon realm? Could it be Star Demon Patrol? The purple-haired demon youth and the man in the golden armor were trembling with madness at the moment. Star Demon Patrol, this is a disaster. Because the ancestral ancestor likes to turn the practitioner into a livestock animal to torture and tease. But after the teasing, these cultivators will be released. So every once in a while, the ancestor will go out once. And in Eternal Dark Prison, a large number of practitioners were arrested in the 8 major areas and turned into livestock and animals to take home. This is the Star Demon Tour. On the way to Star Demon, any practitioner who is encountered by Star Demon is bound to be a nightmare. Sure enough, after seeing these 2 masters, the ancestor of the Star Devil on the luxurious carriage waved his hand directly, and the invisible power came instantly. It's over. The purple-haired demon youth and the man in the golden armor were both pale, with fear and despair in their eyes. Although they are all dominated by the 3rd level, and they can live in Eternal Dark Prison for so long, their life-saving ability is not weak, but now they cannot resist the slightest resistance in the face of the Star Ancestor. Because there have been rumors in the Eternal Dark Prison, the stars and demons are out. But if any practitioners meet, they can live at least if they are honest. If they want to escape, they will die. So far, as long as this ancestor of the Star Devil is trying to catch, he has never missed. Even the Lord of the Darkest can be easily arrested, let alone him. The invisible power descended on the 2 masters, and the 2 masters showed a daze, but at the next moment their bodies began to change. Obviously the two masters exuding the torrential weather. In the blink of an eye, they became two animals directly, a rabbit and a crow. As the ancestor of the star demon waved slightly, the rabbit and the crow came to his palm uncontrollably, and he was thrown into the trunk of the carriage. But when the ancestral ancestor opened the back box, you could see there are already a lot of animals in the back box, but they are all small. Obviously, the ancestor of the star devil has arrested many practitioners since his tour. The purple-haired demon youth and the man in the golden armor were arrested, and the carriage only paused slightly, and then continued to move forward. Along the way, the ancestors of the star demon shot again and again, but all practitioners encountered will become livestock or animals in the trunk of the carriage. 6 months later, the ancestor of the star devil came to a dark corner, and a thin old man in a black robe came to the carriage. Welcome to the master. The elder man in this black robe is dominated by the 3rd grade, and he is still recognized as the strongest in this dark area. But now he is kneeling directly in front of the star demon ancestor. Say it. Star demon ancestor said lightly. Master, the Lord of the Blood Sword is now in the 42nd dark zone, and the Dragon Lord seems to already know his existence. Not long ago, the Lord Dragon Lord shot 4 strong men, and wanted to kill the Blood Sword. The master did not succeed. No accident. Then the Dragon Lord should be shot in person. The thin old man in black robe respected. Devil? Haha, just a little lizard. Let alone say that the Lord of the Blood Sword has not fallen into his hands. Even if it falls into his hands, if the ancestor I need, he must obedient the blood sword. The Lord handed it over to my ancestors. The star devil ancestor smiled, and immediately looked down. You did a good job with this thing. As a reward, I can reduce the period of the chaos period. Thank you, master. The ancestor of star devil was smiling, and drove the carriage directly to the 42 dark area. Chapter 3906. The first is more. In the 42nd dark area, above the vast void, Jian Wuxuang and Emperor Duke dominate the two side by side. Not far behind him, there were 2 other figures just following. That 10,000 bones demon and Su Xinho are really annoying. Emperor Break frowned. Let them follow. Count the days. The Dragon Lord should be coming soon. Jian Wuxuang laughed. Master, in front of it is the Dongfu where the Baitsu Demon Lord lives. Although the Baitsu Demon Lord is also the strongest in the dark level, but his means of strength are all moderate, and he is not particularly good at it, nor is it special awesome. In addition, his life-saving mystery is not too much. If he is caught in the master's sword array, the master has a chance to kill him. Emperor ruled. Jian Wuxuang nodded slightly. It didn't take long for Jian Wuxuang to meet the Baitsu Demon Lord, and soon Jian Wuxuang showed up his wave lightsaber array to fight against this Baitsu Demon Lord. In the void not far away, the 10,000 bone demon and Su Xinho released the power of the soul and looked at the scene of the battle ahead. The Lord of the Blood Sword is really a lunatic. He took the initiative to find each of the strongest in the dark area and played against the sword array. He could not help but use those strongest in the dark area to hone him. Sword array cannot be achieved. The Emperor is also the master, obviously very arrogant, and even took him to find a strongest person in the dark. Wangu Demon wailed. Everyone who makes the Emperor's master recognizes the Lord of the Blood Sword, and the two have become best friends. The main sword of the Blood Sword has experienced sword formation. Of course the Emperor's Lord has to help. Su Xinho next to him smiled. I have heard of the Lord Baitsu Demon. Although his strength is not weak, his life-saving secrets are very ordinary. He is alone in the sword array of the Lord of the Blood Sword, but he cannot break the sword array. I can't escape. I'm afraid I will have to die in the hands of the Lord of the Blood Sword. The two of them were talking casually. Suddenly, Wangu Demon and Su Xinho looked very moved, followed by joy in both eyes. Lord finally arrived. The power of his two souls has sensed the arrival of Lord Dragon and Red One. The two met immediately. Meet the Lord. Both Wangu Demon and Su Xinho respectfully salute, and at the same time they both notice an old man standing next to the Demon Lord. Lord of Mars. Both Wan Demon and Su Xinho were shocked. Bone's simple heart, can the Lord of the Blood Sword be ahead? The Lord Dragon looked down. Yes. Wangu Demon nodded respectfully. He is now fighting against Baitsu Demon Lord, one of the strongest in the 42nd Dark Area. The Baitsu Demon Lord should not be his opponent, and he is about to die. In addition, the Emperor Ruler has been with the Lord of the Blood Sword all these years, and is also ahead. Emperor? Lord Dragon Lord's eyes were cold. I tried to kill him many years ago, but he escaped by chance. Today, since he is standing with the Lord of the Blood Sword, he will be him. Kill them all together, and let's go. The Dragon Lord rushed out, and behind him were the Lord of Mars, Lord of Red One, Lord of Dark Fire, Lord of 10,000 Bones and Su Shinho, and approached the position of Sword Wuxia at a fast speed. In the endless void, the endless sword-like ocean swept across, forming a heavy sword-like wave that hit the central Baitsu Demon Master frantically. Baichu Yaozhu has been in this wave of lightsaber formation for a long time, and he has exerted all his powers, cannot escape from this sword formation, but can only watch his divine power being continuously consumed into a state of despair. But at this time, the emperor who originally stood outside the battlefield suddenly came to Jian Wuxia. Blood Sword, that 10,000 Bones demon, and Su Shinho have left my soul perception range. It should be no accident that the Demon Dragon Lord arrived. Emperor Dashi ruled, because there was an outsider. Emperor Drake Jian Wuxia is not called the Master, but he is called the Blood Sword. Lord of the Dragon is here? Jian Wuxia frowned. Lord of the Dragon? Baitsu Demon Lord in the middle of the wave sword formation was also surprised. Sure enough, a mighty breath slowly came from the distant void, and at the end of that void, several figures were approaching at an alarming rate. In the blink of an eye, they came to the void outside the battlefield, and a number of figures also appeared in front of Jian Wuxia. There are a total of 6 people in the team, except for the Red One Lord, Dark Fire Lord, 10,000 Demon Kings, and Su Shinho who have been face to face before Jian Wuxia. The rest is the Dragon Lord and an old man. Is that Lord Dragon? Jian Wuxia looked at the Dragon Lord with a black unicorn on his forehead. The latter stood there. The breath emanating from the invisible body was far stronger than the ordinary third-level masters, and even those who are the strongest in the dark areas. Jian Wuxia also felt a tremendous pressure from his body. This kind of pressure will only appear when it poses a great threat to himself. It is indeed one of the 10 kings. Standing alone, the pressure on me is so strong. If I do have a disciple of Hongyan's pulse in my hand, I can only face him by my own means. Able to retreat. Jian Wuxia sighed in his heart. Followed by Jian Wuxia, he looked at the old man next to the Lord Dragon. Who is this person? I didn't seem to match it with the strong intelligence I got before. But he could stand side by side with the Dragon Lord? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. Even if Hong Yi, who is very powerful and comparable to Emperor Dharma, is standing respectfully behind the Demon Dragon Lord at this moment. But the old man is very side by side with the Demon Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord has no opinion about this. Obviously, this person should not be under the control of the Dragon Lord. Is it another king? Jian Wuxia frowned. In his opinion, on the first floor of Eternal Dark Prison, there could only be the other 9 kings, who could stand alongside the Dragon Lord. At this time, the Emperor of the Emperor whispered softly, Master, if I am not mistaken, the old man should be the Lord of the Martian. Master of Mars? Jian Wuxia wondered. The Lord of Mars is not a king, and his own strength is not strong, but he is generally dominated by the 3rd series. However, his understanding of the formation method is extremely good. It is a recognized formation in the first layer of this eternal dark prison. The first person in law. First person in formation? Hearing the words of Emperor Dicha, Jian Wuxia's eyes lit up instantly. Chapter 3907. Second more. You should know that Jian Wuxia has been wandering in the dark areas of the Demon Dragon realm these years, and challenged the one who is the strongest in the dark area. The purpose is to continue to improve his 2 sword arrays as much as possible. After years of challenges, he also had some gains, but the gains were not too great. He made the most progress in the two major sword formations, still in the 9th dark zone, under the guidance of the Blood Rain Demon for 30 years. In those 30 years, his two great sword formations can be said to have improved by leaps and bounds. And now, he has encountered a strong man who is good at matrix formation, and is still the first space in the entire Eternal Dark Prison. This stone Martian master, in his understanding of the formation method, must be higher than the Blood Rain Demon, or even a lot higher. After all, although the accomplishment of Blood Rain Demon is also high in the formation method, he is extremely confident, thinking that his accomplishment in the formation method can barely rank in the top 10 of the first floor of the Eternal Dark Prison. In fact, this ranking is just her own opinion, but has not been recognized by others. But this stone Martian lord is different, but it is the first floor of the entire Eternal Dark Prison, recognized by countless practitioners. His accomplishments in battle formation must be extremely high. If such a strong man who is good at matrix formation, Jian Wushuang, can conquer, it will be of great help to himself. This demon dragon lord is really a man. He just brought it to his own door, and he even brought me such a big gift. Jian Wushuang smiled, rejoicing in his heart. However, due to the arrival of the demon dragon lord, the fierce battle between Jian Wushuang and the Baitsu demon lord naturally stopped. Although the Baitsu demon lord had little power left, it only took a moment to kill Jian Wushuang, but Jian Wushuang stopped it. The Baichu demon lord immediately seized the opportunity to escape to the surrounding void. But he couldn't leave immediately, because the moment the demon lord appeared, the surrounding void was already covered by a huge circle of law. This heavy law formation is more powerful than the blood formation that the Blood Rain Demon had originally laid out. Moreover, the Blood Rain Demon lord originally arranged the law array, more or less still needs some time to prepare. But now the stone Martian master turned the room and arranged a more strengthened law array. Within the circle of law, Jian Wushuang, Emperor Dashi, including the Baitsu demon lord, could not escape. I can feel that the law circle around it is very strong. Even if I try my best to use the strongest method, I'm afraid I won't be able to break this law circle. Emperor Zha dominated the path. There is such a ruthless law formation in the room. This master of the Martian master's accomplishment in the formation method is indeed good. Jian Wu's eyes flashed with brilliance. The higher the accomplishment of the Lord of Mars in the formation, the happier his heart is. His body flickered, and the Lord of the White Chu directly came to the void in front of the demon lord and others. Lord, you should have come to the Lord of the Blood Sword. It has nothing to do with me. Please also ask the Lord to leave me. Afterwards, you must remember the Lord's kindness. No matter what the Lord sent, by the song will work like a dog. Bai Chu Yaozhu respected him very much, and his attitude was extremely low. He was so distraught now that he didn't want to stay for a moment. And in his opinion, he is also a strongest person in the dark zone. And his strength is not in the heart of the dark fire, the bone monarch, the heart of the heart. And he is so low now that he even promises to be able to serve for the Dragon Lord. This Dragon Lord should let him go. But actually, the Lord of Dragons just glanced at Baitsu Demon Lord coldly, and then waved directly. Boom! A majestic force swept through suddenly, but turned into a purple thunder. This purple thunder contained terrifying destruction power, and directly bombarded the body of Baitsu Demon Lord. Bai Chu Yao's eyes widened. A little bit of resentment and anger flashed in his eyes, but his breath began to dissipate. With a wave of his hand, Bai Chu Yaozhu died directly. A waste, also wanna work for me? Funny. Lord Dragon disdain. A few people behind Hong Yi, the master of the 10,000 bones behind him, saw this without any surprise. The Dragon Lord, but one of the 10 kings, is the Lord of the Dragon Domain. He wants to be with him and work for him. How easy is it? Even if they were a few, the reason why they could follow the Lord of the Dragons at the beginning was because of some special factors. Otherwise, the Lord of the Dragons might be too lazy to look at them, except the red one. When Jian Wushuang and Emperor Dominator saw this scene, they were a little surprised. Anyway, I'm also the strongest in the dark area. Although the divine power has been mostly consumed by me, it is estimated that there are less than 30% left, but the Lord of the Dragons obviously did not do his best. Just shot at will, not even take out your own magic weapon and kill it directly. Jian Wushuang secretly exclaimed. At the same time, understand that the strength of this dragon lord should be stronger than he imagined. Before, he heard that the 1,000 strongest attack methods of Emperor King and Emperor King dominated the two, which could be comparable to the power of ordinary kings. If the top 10 kings were a little more serious and took out their most precious soldiers, the power they exerted will definitely be stronger than the strongest means of attack by the 1,000 kings and emperors. He slayed the Baitsu demon lord at will, and the look of the demon dragon lord did not change at all. His cold eyes looked again. When he saw the sword unparalleled, there was a trace of depth in the eyes. Unbelievable fanaticism. Lord of the Blood Sword, I give you the opportunity to surrender all of your 2 rules to the treasure and submit to me. I can promise not to kill you. The dragon lord murmured. Oh, you still want me to surrender? Jian Wushuang smiled slightly, not surprisingly. Just like when he met the ancient night demon, the ancient night demon wanted to subdue him at the beginning, and he was extremely excited. This was mainly because the ancient night demon had left the eternal dark prison and returned to the universe. And there is a division behind him to want a super genius like him. But now the dragon lord still stays in the eternal dark prison, where the genius or anything is worthless. The dragon lord wants to subdue him. It is estimated that he just wants to save something, but it will not be true. Chapter 3908. Third More. Court Death. There was a bit of evil spirit in the dragon lord's eyes. His palm was flipped, and a dark golden stick appeared in his hand. This dark golden long stick is the strongest treasure of the dragon lord. Under normal circumstances, even if the dragon lord slays the general strongest in the dark area, he does not need to use magic soldiers. Like the Baitsu demon lord just now, the demon dragon lord directly killed him with power. But considering that Jian Wushuang is still standing by the emperor, the demon dragon lord will be his first. Qiangbao Shinbing took it out. Dicha, you step back and don't need to intervene. Jian Wushuang instructed. Yes. Emperor Dashi nodded, and his figure had receded to the side. Finally, I can really fight against the powerful men at the level of kings. Jian Wushuang looked at the dragon lord in front of him, with a hint of excitement in his eyes. Emperor retreated? The dragon lord looked at the emperor, but the evil spirit in his eyes was more intense. Whatever he is, dare to block the road and kill directly. The dragon lord shot directly. He was just a simple step, and appeared directly in front of Jian Wushuang across a distant distance. The dark gold stick in his hand smashed into a dark golden thunder, and he slashed down in a flash. There was a loud roar from the smash. A terrifying power of extinction appeared on the head of Jian Wushuang. This power is so strong. Jian Wushuang secretly panicked, but at the first time, there was a lot of power of the Earth's rules rising, with the vast origin of Kendo universe. In an instant, the guardian sword formation of the Earth has taken shape. The dark golden thunder transformed by the dark golden cudgel directly bombarded the Earth guardian sword formation, and a crisp explosion sounded immediately. The sword unparalleled Earth guarded the sword array. All began to tremble violently, but it didn't take long for them to calm down again. Sure enough, under the guidance of the Blood Rain Demon, my Earth Guardian sword array has been greatly improved, and coupled with the aggressiveness of these years, the power has also been improved to a certain degree, even for the 1,000-killer Emperor. The Lord's strongest fourth axe cannot regret this sword formation at all. And this demon leader took the initiative to use the strongest treasure soldier. And the attack he did is to kill the Emperor's fourth axe a lot. But I want to open my sword array directly, but it is almost. Wushuang is smiling. When he was separated from the Blood Rain Demon and the 1,000-killing Emperor, the 1,000-killing Emperor once said that the sword unmatched Earth-guarding sword array's ability to protect the body is extremely terrifying. Breaking the sword array is not empty words. Now that the Dragon Lord has taken the shot, he has also used his strongest magic weapon. but the attack that he can cast still fails to break the Sword Guardian Earth Guard sword array. Huh. Lord Dragon's brows frowned slightly. No wonder the red, and a few people have said that they can't kill the Blood Sword Master. Even the attack that I use the strongest magic weapon can be blocked in front, with a guard sword array. Now how did they kill them? The Lord of Dragons admits that Jian Wushuang, the Guardian Sword formation, is quite good, but he doesn't care. You know, he is the Lord of the Dragon, one of the top 10 kings in the first layer of Eternal Dark Prison. Although he is still only the third-level primary dominating level in the realm, the combat power has long reached the third-level High Master. The most extreme, even infinitely close to the third-level peak. On that stick, although he tried his best, he didn't use his unique skills. Dragon Flash. The Lord of the Dragon gave a low drink, and at this moment, the dark golden long stick suddenly turned into a dark golden dragon. This dark golden dragon is huge, carrying a breathtaking momentum, and blasts directly at the sword Wushuang. This dark golden dragon is incredible. Almost instantly, he hit the ground guardian sword array of the swordless body surface. The shock of terror came. The Earth Guardian sword trembled madly, and in the blink of an eye, it had reached the limit it could bear, and finally collapsed. Ha! Swordless twins retreated, and immediately stopped in the void. This breaks my guardian of the earth? Jian Wushuang was surprised. He could see that the Lord of the Dragons had just performed his tricks, but he had paid nothing. However, this attack of the Dragon Lord only broke its sword formation, but it could not hurt him anymore. Even my strongest trick, Dragon Smash, just broke his sword array, but couldn't hurt him? The Dragon Lord's eyes narrowed for a moment, but the next moment his eyes were cold. A horrifying horror swept up, and in his face, black scales emerged one after another. The Lord of the Dragon is itself a tribe of the dragon family, and his body is a dragon. It's just that he usually doesn't use the body, but now why the sword is unparalleled. He has revealed part of the body. Not only did he reveal part of his body, he even consumed part of his essence. Dead. The Lord of the Dragons is another burst of drink. The sound is full of endless killing intentions. There is a burst of light on the surface of his body, but the dark golden sticks in his hands are waving out one after another. Boom, boom, boom. After 3 sticks, the power of each stick was outrageous. At the end, the power of the third stick was superimposed, condensing explosive power. Sword warriors couldn't dodge at all, and could only run the Earth Guardian sword formation again. But this sword array was hit by unprecedented 3 sticks. With the first 2 sticks alone, the Sword Guardian Earth Guard sword array was directly defeated. As for the final third stick, without any hindrance, it was bombarded on the sword godless body. Jian Wushuang suffered the impact of terror, and the whole person was slammed down to the ground. At half sound, Jian Wu's figure rose again, but at this moment, his Bodis breath was obviously weakened a little more than before. I lost more than 10% of my divine power? Jian Wushuang was surprised, but immediately he laughed again. It is indeed the Dragon Lord who is one of the 10 kings. This strength is really strong. Jian Wushuang had to admit it. In the move just now, 3 clubs smashed one after another, and Wei Neng was really outrageous, especially the last third club. The stacking of Wei Neng has probably reached the 3rd level. This level of attack hit his body directly, and even after weakening from his surface to the treasure armor, it still caused a serious damage to his body, directly consuming more than 10% of the power. This is also because Jian Wushuang's strongest Arcana Warframe has been replaced with the best-in-class Ice Spirit armor, and the body protection ability has been greatly improved. If it is still the previous Wujin Demon armor, then this stick can at least make Jian Wushuang lose more than 30% of its magic power. End of this chapter. Chapter 3909. 4th More. Although the Lord of the Dragons also paid a price for that move just now, but the price is not too great. The same move, the Lord of Dragons may be able to perform many times. If I meet this Demon Dragon Lord elsewhere, I'm afraid I can only flee. Jian Wushuang smiled. But here is not elsewhere, but an eternal dark prison. In eternal hell, he didn't worry about danger at all. Lord, You are really strong, worthy of the king's name. But unfortunately you met me, so I can only blame you for being unlucky. Jian Wushuang suddenly said. Blamed me for being unlucky? The Dragon Lord frowned. The Martian Lord, the Red One Lord, and others watching in the surrounding void were also confused. They couldn't understand, they are all in such a situation now. What other waves can the Lord of Blood Swords make? Only Emperor Dicha, after hearing the words of Jian Wushuang, understood what Jian Wushuang was going to do. He could not help showing a little pity when he looked at the Lord of the Dragon. Jian Wushuang already knew about the strength of the Demon Dragon Lord, and naturally he was too lazy to hide it, and took out the disciple's token of the red cloud directly, and immediately mobilized the power of the surrounding magic circle. Immediately, a majestic power came directly. This is the power of the eternal dark prison's magic array, a vein of Hongyan. He is a person of a vein of Hongyan. The Dragon Lord has reacted immediately, but when he reacted it was obviously late. I saw the majestic power directly acting on the Lord of the Dragons. Even though the Lord of the Dragons is a king-level powerhouse, it has a combat power close to the peak of the 3rd rank. Down but weak and poor, there is no room for struggle. Suddenly suppressed by the power of that array, he couldn't move while lying there. Not only the Lord of the Dragons, but also the Lord of Stone Mars, Lord of the Red One, Lord of the Bone Demon, Lord of the Dark Fire, and Su Shinho, who have been watching in the surroundings, were also suppressed by that mighty power at this moment. Do not. A vein of red clouds. The Lord of the Blood Sword is a person of a vein of red clouds. It's over, we're over. A series of hissing sounds followed, and the 5 were immediately suppressed there, unable to move. Soon, the 5 met with the Dragon Lord, all lying in front of Jian Wushuang. Master, the Emperor of Emperor Break, also came to Jian Wushuang. The host, hearing the title of Emperor's Sword Wushuang, the Demon Dragon Lord was shocked, but it turned out to be clear. Emperor, you have long surrendered to the Lord of the Blood Sword. Damn, we were all fooled by him. Hong Yi is the master, the 10,000 Bone Demon, the Dark Fire is the master, and Su Shinho is extremely angry. When they saw the Emperor Dicha with Wushuang's sword before, the Emperor Dicha called the Lord of the Blood Sword the Blood Sword, and said that the Lord of the Blood Sword was his best friend, and he shot for his best friend. But it now seems clear that this is not the case. This Emperor's dominion has long been subject to the Lord of the Blood Sword. Obviously, the Lord of the Blood Sword has revealed his identity and mobilized the power of the eternal dark prison array to suppress it. The Emperor's Lord was willing to surrender in order to survive. As for seeing what their best friends are, they are deceiving people. Even Jian Wushuang is a person in the red cloud, who can use the power of the eternal dark prison's magic array. Naturally, the 4 of them could easily be suppressed at the same time. But Jian Wushuang did not do so, but let them return to report. The purpose is obvious. Asshole, the Lord of the Blood Sword, deliberately attracted me here. This is a trap. I was accounted for by him, and I took it to my door. Stupid, I'm so stupid. The Dragon Lord growled, his voice hysterical. Lord of the Dragon, you are really stupid. Jian Wushuang looked down at the Lord of Dragons, and Shen said, You don't think about it. I have a ruler who has 2 rules at the same time. And dares, how can you brazenly challenge the strong in your dragon domain, and make such a big noise? How can there be no reliance? Furthermore, you have sent Red One to dominate several people to kill me. Although I was sent off, I know that you will definitely take the shot next. But you still dare to stay in this 42 dark area. Inside, don't you have any doubts when you come? Doubt, of course I doubt. The Lord of the Dragons said lowly. When I knew you existed, I was doubting your identity, because there are countless practitioners on the 1st floor of the eternal dark prison. But there is no ruler in it. At least in hundreds of times. I have never heard of a ruler from there. Not to mention that the ruler has the rule of treasure in his hands. I guessed at the time that you probably entered the eternal dark prison in the near future. But I only thought you were lucky, and happened to find this eternal dark prison, and accidentally broke in. I didn't think of you in the vein of red cloud. After all, the vein of red cloud has long since vanished. This is an indisputable fact. I used to think that you were an outsider who was relying on your own body protection and some arrogance, so you wanted to immediately seize the opportunity to do something to you. After all, the 2 rules in your hand are extremely precious. Unexpectedly, I ended up planted in your hands. The Dragon Lord's eyes spewed flames. The king defeated, and he admitted that he had taken care of it this time, and took the initiative to come home to be suppressed by the Blood Sword Master. But he didn't regret it. There is nothing to regret. Anyway, he has been trapped in this eternal dark prison for a long time. He was desperate for a long time. He finally knew that there was an outside practitioner who was carrying 2 treasures. Of course, he had to seize this opportunity to fight. Maybe you will be lucky. Not only will you get the 2 rules of treasure, but you will also know the way to leave the eternal dark prison from the main sword of the blood sword. But unfortunately, he failed to succeed and was suppressed by the other party. Lord Dragon, you are indeed a hegemon in this eternal dark prison. Rest assured, I will not kill you directly. I will give you 2 choices, surrender or die. Jian Wushuang watched calmly with Demon Lord. Haha, surrender? You want me to surrender too? Lord Dragon sneered. Don't rush to refuse, wait for me to finish. Jian Wushuang simply recounted the things that need to be done after surrendering himself. Of course, also talked about some things that he can do. The Lord of the Dragons, who was extremely unwilling to surrender, was immediately shaken after listening to what Jian Wushuang said. As for the Master of the Stone Mars, and the Master of the Red One in the rear, they also exude a strong light. End of this chapter. Chapter 39:10. 5 more arrived today. Lord of the Blood Sword, can you take us out of eternal dark prison? The Dragon Lord stared at the sword unparalleled. Of course. Jian Wushuang nodded. Not only that, you only have to surrender me for 100,000 years. I can swear to the laws of the universe. After 100,000 years, you will definitely be free. Lord Dragon, you are in this eternal hell. After so many years of internal strife, it was very difficult to fight to the status it is now. Now you have the opportunity to leave, and the price is only to surrender for 100,000 years. You have to think carefully. The Dragon Lord frowned and groaned for a moment before raising his head again, saying, I finally understand why even the arrogant people like Dicha are willing to submit to you. You are right. 100,000, it's only been years. Even if you have been a cow and a horse for 100,000 years, even like the ancestor of the Star Devil, I have recognized it as a plaything in your hands. Lord, you're not stupid yet, home. Jian Wushuang smiled. When the Lord Dragon said this, he obviously promised to submit. How many of you? Jian Wushuang looked at the Master of Stone Mars and Hong Yi, who were looking to the rear. Among these major masters, the 3 masters of the Bone Bones, the Master of the Dark Fire, and Su Xinho almost did not need to think about it, they agreed directly. Several of them had previously surrendered to the Lord of the Dragons, but they did not allow them to leave a mark on their souls. Now it is only 100,000 years to surrender to Jian Wushuang. But Jian Wushuang can take them out of eternal dark prison. This sale is absolutely cost-effective. As for the Red One and the Martian Master, they did not hesitate for a long time and chose to submit. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang was happy inside. Of these strong men surrendered at present, the Lord of the Dragons need not say more. One of the 10 kings, doing their best to fight, is afraid to be close to the peak of the 3rd level domination. Fighting against the Devil Star in the future is definitely a great battle. The Red One dominates, and the combat power is not weaker than the Emperor's domination, which is also a great help. Can really make Jian Wushuang excited, always the Master of the Stone Mars. This Stone Martian Master, but the Eternal Dark Prison Formation Method first achievement. With him, his 2 major sword formations can be greatly improved and perfected. In just a moment, Jian Wushuang left the imprint in the source of these dominant souls, and had absolute control over them. The cave house where the Baitsu Demon Lord lives is just in front of you. Devil Dragon, Stone Fire, Emperor Chase. The 3 of you come with me, and the others are waiting here. Jian Wushuang commanded. Yes. Everyone naturally led. Inside the cave, Jian Wushuang sat on the stone bench, while the Dragon Lord, Stone Martian Lord, and Emperor Ruler stood in front of the sword-sided stone fire. Jian Wushuang first looked at the Lord of Stone Mars. Master, the Lord of Mars reveals a humble smile. Do not look at the Lord of Mars. But in fact he is a very humble person, and his temper is considered good. The reason why he was detained in eternal dark prison was purely because those who offend Hongyan are not guilty of heinous sins. I created 2 sword formations. Before these 2 sword formations, the Blood Rain Demon has improved a lot for me. But I still feel that these 2 sword formations have a lot of room for improvement. You are good at formations, and the formation method is recognized throughout the eternal dark prison, and you will follow me in the future to help me improve these 2 sword arrays. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. The Lord of Mars immediately nodded. Magic Dragon, you are one of the 10 kings of eternal dark prison, and the Lord of this magic dragon realm. Can you have the rule of treasure in your hand? Jian Wushuang asked. No. The Lord Dragon shook his head directly. Not one. The sword had no weird sides. Return to the master, the rule is the treasure. There are indeed a few in the eternal dark prison, but there are not many. Among the 10 kings, there are several rules in the hands of the rule. But kings like me at the bottom are indeed one. Nothing, said the Lord Dragon bitterly. The king at the bottom? Jian Wushuang stunned. How, with your strength, are you still at the bottom of the top 10 kings? It's the bottom, at least I know. 6 of the top 10 kings are better than me. As for the remaining 4, it's probably similar to me, said the Dragon Lord. Which of the other kings has the rule of treasure? Jian Wushuang asked again. There are 4 known kings with the rule of treasures. They are the Lord of the Blood Peaks, the Bauhinia Domain Lord, the King of the Bone Emperors, and the Lord of the Scorpions. As for the other kings, they may also have the rule of treasures in their hands. Take it out. And among the 4 known kings who have the rule arcana, the Lord of Scorpion Lords has the most rule arcanas, and there are 5 rule arcanas, said the Dragon Lord. What? 5? Jian Wushuang was startled. The rule of treasure is generally only 1 or 2 in the vast universe. He himself also had the chance to pass the test of the Red Cloud Realm before he got a rule of magic sword, www.novel. Plus his master Xian Yi left a town monument. But now in the first level of the Eternal Dark Prison, which is dominated by the 3rd level, some people are carrying 5 treasures at the same time? These 5 rules are precious, and even the sword unparalleled heartbeats. Magic Dragon, are you sure that the Lord of Scorpions has 5 rules of treasure? Jian Wushuang squinted. Of course it's true, I don't hide it. I have met the old scorpion a few times, and even played against him. I know quite well his whole card, and I am sure he has 5 rules of treasure in his hands. He had a rules stick of precious treasures that was perfectly suitable for me to cast. I had personally approached him, and was willing to pay him a huge price in exchange for the rule precious treasure sticks. But he refused. And I came to the owner this time. In fact, I just wanted to get the 2 rules of the treasure in your master's hands, and then exchanged with him for that rule of treasures. Lord of the Dragon said, if you get my 2 rules of treasure, will the Lord of the Scorpions exchange it for you? Jian Wushuang asked with a smile. Of course it will, and he will definitely beg me to change at that time. The Lord Dragon affirmed. Why? Jian Wushuang wondered. I do indeed know what the master is. The 5 rules of the Scorpion Lord are precious. 2 of them are special steals. I heard the ruler of Hongyi said before. The stone tablet in the hands of the unexpected owner, should be the same as the 2 stone tablets in the hands of the Lord of the Scorpions, said the Dragon Lord. Zhentianbei, Jian Wu's double body suddenly stood up. You mean, the Lord of the Scorpions has Zhentian steel in his hands? And there are 2 full. Chapter 39:11. The first is more. Yes, it's Zhentian Monument. The Dragon Lord nodded and said, the old Scorpion originally had 2 such town monuments. But for a long time, he has been trying to find a 3rd one. However, the Eternal Dark Prison resource is limited, and he has not been able to obtain it. I am guessing that if this old scorpion gets 3 town monuments at the same time, its strength will definitely be greatly improved. It will be greatly improved. Jian Wushuang smiled. He himself has a town monument, and from the magic flame, he also knows the origin of the town monument. The Qijin Tianbei itself is a precious rule of repression, but its true magic is combined with a unique law formation. That is, the law circle is divided into 4 levels, and the most basic first-level law circle requires 3 town monuments to be able to perform. Since the Lord Scorpion Lord is so eager to get the 3rd town monument, it is likely that he has the first-level magic circle in cooperation with the town monument. I only need to get 3 town monuments, and he can bring out the first-level power of that array, and the strength will inevitably increase. But now, this incident let Jian Wushuang know that Sword Wushuang is bound to start to figure out. If I can get the 2 town monuments in the hands of the Lord of the Scorpions, and get the first-level law circle from him, then with my strength and a sense of the laws of the universe, I will use 3 towns. The steel exerts its might, and I am afraid that my overall strength will also be greatly improved. The strange light flashed in the sword's eyes. Magic Dragon. You continue to talk about the other rules of the Dragon Lord to the treasure, and there are other information of those kings. You also tell me in detail. Sword Wushuangdo. Yes. The Lord of the Dragons immediately began to speak. Although the 10 great kings in the first layer of Eternal Dark Prison have all heard of Jian Wushuang, he doesn't know much about some of the means of the whole cards. But the Lord of the Dragons is one of the 10 kings himself, and often deals with those kings. He must know more about these kings than sword masters. Wu Jianshuang and the Dragon Lord talked in detail in the cave. Outside of the cave house, for people Red 1, Dark Fire Master, Wang Gudajuan, and Su Xinho waited quietly there. I waited to follow the Lord of the Dragons to deal with the Lord of the Blood Sword, but I did not expect that this Lord of the Blood Sword was actually a man with a red cloud. But in the blink of an eye, he became his slave. 10,000 Bone Devil sighed. Although I waited before I surrendered to the Lord of the Dragons, the Lord of the Dragons did not leave a mark on the soul of me and other souls. But now, the Dark Fire sighed secretly. Everybody wants to start. Think about the Lord of the Dragons. He is the one who is the most unwilling, but now is not the same as the slave of the Lord of the Blood Sword. Said Hong Yi. This is also true. One Bone Demon, the master of the Dark Fire, smiled. It is true that even the Lord of the Dragons is now honestly surrendering to the Lord of the Blood Sword. Some of them were originally only the Lord of the Dragons. What else is unwilling? At this time, someone has come. Suddenly Hong Yi's dominion raised his head, and a breath had come out of his soul perception. He was quite familiar with this breath. What is he doing here? Hong Yi dominated with doubt. After a while, a young man in a silver armor appeared in front of Hong Yi's dominance. Red One is dominating. The young man shouted with a smile. You, don't you stay in the Dragon Castle, what do you run here for? Hong Yi dominated and frowned. This dominated by Yu Fei is also a strong man under His Majesty Dragon Lord. However, in terms of relationship status, he is not as good as a few people. After all, the red or a few people are all around the Demon Lord, compared with the Demon Lord being close, but dominated by Yu, is just a person who works for the Dragon Lord. Hong Yi, Lord, can it be inside? You dominated the mountain behind him. Yes. Hong Yi dominated his head and nodded. Are you looking for a lord? I originally stayed in the Dragon Castle, but I knew a while ago that this matter is very important, so I immediately came to confess the Lord. You dominated. Is that so? Hong Yi dominated and said, let's go, what's worth your own trip? It's like this. The change in the matter that dominated when he was about to sue. After listening to it, Hong Yi dominated all 4, and his expression became extremely dignified. You're waiting here. I'll go and tell the Lord immediately. The ruler of Hong Yi immediately rushed to the cave house in the middle of the mountain. Within the cave house, the Dragon Lord is still telling some things about the 10 kings to Jian Wushuang. Wu Hong Yi dominated directly. Master Lord. Red One dominates the sword, and the Dragon Lord salutes. Hong Yi, are you okay? Jian Wushuang looked over. Back to the master. The Lord Yu of His Majesty knows one thing. He came over from the Dragon Castle to confess to the Lord. He said that not long ago, someone in the Dragon Realm saw the ancestor of the Star Devil in a carriage and went along the road, arresting practitioners in the wild. Hangyi dominates the solemn road Star Demon ancestor. The Lord of Flint and Mars and the Emperor Sheikh trembled when they heard the name of the Star Demon ancestor. Apparently there was a fear of this Star Demon ancestor. The ancestor of the Star Demon came to visit my Devil Dragon realm? But it's less than 1 billion years since his last tour. Obviously it's not time yet? The Demon Lord also frowned. Star Demon tour is generally more regular. After all, the purpose of the Star Demon tour is to capture the practitioner into a livestock animal for his enjoyment. And in the exercises he captured generally tortured in his hands for a long time. When he gets tired, he will catch the next batch. But now it hasn't been long since the last time the Star Demon went out to catch the practitioners. According to the reason, the Star Devil should not go out during this time. Star Demon Patrol? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. I visited the Star Demon. He had heard of it in this eternal dark prison, and knew the strange ancestor of the Star Demon ancestor. He also understood why the ancient Night Devil had asked him to find a way to kill the Star Demon ancestor. The ancient Night Demon Prince was apparently caught by the Star Demon ancestors during his tour, and then brought back by the Star Demon ancestors, turned into livestock animals, and was tortured for 1 billion years. You must know that a dignified master has become a livestock, and it is still a livestock for people's pleasure, or a full 1 billion years. This kind of shame and pain is afraid that no one can bear it. This Star Demon ancestor's tour time and chosen place, it is too coincident. Jian Wushuang suddenly said. Chapter 39:12. Second more. I was a coincidence. I didn't go to the tour early in the morning or night, but came to the eternal dark prison by myself, and then went on a tour after becoming famous. And the place where the ancestors of the Star Devil toured was exactly in the Demon Dragon realm. Master, do you mean the ancestor of the Star Devil came to you? Lord Dragon looked over. What do you think? Jian Wushuang glanced at the Dragon Lord. It is indeed very possible. The Lord of the Dragons nodded slightly, and then straightforwardly said, the ancestor of the Star Demon is a true demon, and he has always been very mysterious. Among the 10 kings, it is definitely the most mysterious and most special. The most mysterious and the most special? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. Talk about it. Master, you may not know, although our top 10 kings are standing on the same level, they actually have a certain gap between each other's strength, and there will be competition and even slaughter. It is just difficult between kings and kings, killing each other, and after a long period of time, these kings know each other's strength and means very well. But this ancestor of the Star Devil is the only one among the 10 kings. Although he is called the first demon of the eternal dark prison, he will go out to arrest the practitioners every so often. Those practitioners have no room for struggle in his hands, but what he does is the peak of the 2nd series or the general 3rd series dominates, but he rarely shots against other kings. He doesn't occupy territory, and this has a lot less conflict of interests with other kings. Other kings rarely go to trouble him, and even if he really troubles him, he can easily deal with it. In the hundreds of times of chaos, the ancestral ancestor also made several shots, but each time he used different methods, he was able to easily kill a king. In short, he is very mysterious, and the means are endless. Most of the 10 kings are not afraid of each other, but these kings are almost afraid to easily provoke the Star Demon ancestors, even if the Star Demon ancestors often travel. Appearing in the territory of these kings and arresting practitioners, these kings usually open their eyes and close their eyes, and will not go against the Star ancestors for these practitioners. After talking about the Demon Dragon Lord, he was silent. Demon Dragon, have you played against that Star Demon ancestor? Jian Wushuang asked. Have done it once. Lord Dragon, that fight was a shame to me. Shame? Jian Wushuang stunned. At that match, he did not collide with me at all. but used some weird methods and entanglement. Although I tried my best, I couldn't even touch his corner of clothing, and he was teased by him in the end. One turn, of course, is a shame, said the Dragon Lord. Can't collide with you head-on, but can rely on special means to tease you? The sword has no weird sides. Although he hasn't met the Star Demon Ancestor, but from what the Dragon Lord now says, the Star Demon Ancestor is indeed very mysterious. Master, the ancestors of Star Demon are emerging endlessly, even in the transmission of information, because of the special nature of Eternal Dark Prison. ICA&T communicate at all. Although there have been some special ways of transmitting information over the years, but most of them are relatively simple and rough. It may take a long time for a message to be transmitted from my Magic Dragon domain to another large domain. But the ancestors of Star Demons are different. The ancestral ancestor has his own way of transmitting information. He created a special black bird in this long time. The black bird has the secret pattern blessing, and can cross the two domains in a short time. And the ancestors of the Star Demon are in the existence of slaves in all the territories. The Master and you are so famous in the domain of the Demon Dragon. Maybe it has attracted the attention of the ancestors of the Star Demon Ancestors, and then brought the Star Demon Ancestors, said the Dragon Lord. It seems that this is possible. Jian Wushuang smiled. Whether or not the ancestor of Star Demon came to me, but he still wants me to deal with it. The main thing is to deal with the Star Demon Ancestors. Lord Malong looked over. I promised others that I would kill the Star Demon Ancestor for him. Jian Wushuangdo. He did promise the ancient Night Demon, and since he has already promised, Jian Wushuang will not break his word. What's more, now it's not that he is going to find the other person, but that the ancestor of Star Devil is likely to have been following him and looking for him. The ancestors of the Star Devil may have many means, and their strength may be extremely arrogant, but here is after all in the Eternal Dark Prison. Here, as long as he dares to appear in front of me, I can directly mobilize the power of the array to suppress it. And now what I have to do is wait for him to come forward. Jian Wushuang smiled, and a variety of thoughts had emerged in his mind. So the next time, I will stay in this 42 dark zone and go nowhere. Stonefire. My sword formation needs your help, so you follow me, but you have to arrange it around me. A heavy array, pretending to be trapped in me. It is best that the array of dynamic power can be larger. As for the dragon, take your men and stay near me. I want you to pretend to be a picture that traps me using the matrix method. But I can't kill me in a short time. So when the ancestor of the Star Demon arrives, I will not doubt anything. Very may appear directly in front of me and hit me. Then I can suppress him. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. Lord Demon Dragon and Martian Lord nodded respectfully. Emperor Break, you follow me too. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. The Emperor's master nodded. After a short while, the Lord of the Dragons took Red One to dominate and left. They did not go too far, but stopped in the vicinity. However, even if a huge martial law array is arranged in this void, the Martian ruler is extremely powerful and can produce a lot of movement within 1,000,000 miles. Jian Wushuang and Emperor Dominate stay in the formation. It seems that he is trapped by the main formation of the Martian and cannot get away. But in fact the sword Unparalleled is relying on the main formation of the Martian to improve his two sword formations. The Flint and Martian Lord will occasionally show up and give some pointers to the sword's two sword arrays. I have to say that the accomplishments of the Lord of Mars against the FA are indeed extremely high, much higher than the Blood Rain Demon. The two great sword arrays of Wujian Wushan have gained a lot of improvement these years, but in a short period of time, the Lord of Stone Mars has found several flaws. Wu Jianshou improved his sword array as much as possible, while waiting for the Star Demon Ancestor to come to him. Chapter 39:13. Third More. 23 years after Jian Wushuang conquered the Dragon Ancestors and others. Stomp. Tread. Tread. Chihuahua's carriage was fast moving in the void, passing through the void. Star Demon Patriarch. Star Demon Patriarch. Star Ancestors go on tour. Run away. Hurry up and escape, if it is caught by the ancestors of the Star Devil, and it will be enough to make pigs and do enough, it will be miserable. Where a horse-drawn carriage passed, a practitioner was terrified. The ancestor of the Star Demon. For many practitioners, it is a nightmare. Once it is encountered, it is a disaster. The ancestral ancestor came along all the way. As long as it was encountered, either the response was fast enough to escape immediately, or the ancestor was directly caught in the trunk of the carriage. As long as you don't escape in time, wait for the Star Demon ancestor to take action, and then you want to escape. It can't escape. At this moment, this luxurious carriage has reached the 40-second dark zone. Yes, the carriage stopped in the void, and the ancestor of the demon sitting on the carriage raised his eyelids slightly and looked at the void ahead. He can sense that the void, millions of miles away, has an extremely good magical power, and the power of his soul has also sensed several powerful breaths not far away. It seems to make that dragon a step ahead. Star Demon Ancestor drew his head in his right hand. But yes, after all, it is in the domain of dragon, in his place. I need to get here. It will take some time. It really does not match him in speed. But although he is faster than me, the Lord of the Blood Sword does not seem to have fallen into his hands. The Star Ancestor chuckled, followed by one finger. Go with. The ancestor of Xingxingmo spoke, and the carriage continued to move, and after a moment he came into a void. In this void, 5 figures are gathering there, headed by the Dragon Lord. Magic Dragon, haven't seen it for years, don't come without sorrow. Star Demon Ancestor made a mild, throbbing voice, just like greeting an old friend. Star Demon. The Dragon Lord's eyes narrowed, with a dreadful dread in his eyes. Yes, that's jealous. And this jealousy is really not pretended. In the long years in the eternal dark prison, the Dragon Lord has also dealt with this Star Ancestor, and the latter has endless means, and even used some means to tease him easily. In the eyes of the Demon Dragon Lord, the 10 kings of eternal dark prison, even the Demon Scorpion Lord who has 5 rule treasures in hand, will not let him be so jealous. Even if other kings are better than him, he knows the depth and the means of the other party. He was the only ancestor of the Star Devil, and he was so scared that he didn't know the bottom. Star Demon, what are you going to my Demon Dragon realm? The Demon Dragon Lord asked lowly. It's too boring to stay in the castle, come out and stroll around, catch some little guys back for me to have fun. Star Demon Lord chuckled. Why, but just grab some practitioners in your dragon domain. Say, you devil dragon, wouldn't you be so mean? Well, it's just for ordinary practitioners. Since you can see them, you can catch them. I'm too lazy to manage them. But when you come this time, the purpose should be more than that, right? The Dragon Lord's eyes were cold. Don't you know about the Lord of the Blood Sword? Haha. I know I can't hide you from the Demon Dragon. Star Demon Ancestor laughed. Not long ago, I received a false accusation from a slave saying that an incomparable rule master appeared in the Demon Dragon domain. The combat power is comparable to that of the 3rd level master, and even a darkest strongest can flee, and he even has the magic sword of law in his hands. And I was interested at that time. Demon Dragon, you should also be aware that there is no ruler in the first layer of this eternal dark prison. Now there is a sudden emergence. It is very likely that he came from the outside, maybe from him. Get away to leave this eternal dark prison. Do you say I will give up? Star Demon Ancestor said. Huh, no matter what you said, the Lord of the Blood Sword is now in the domain of my Demon Dragon. He is my prey. Will you grab it from me? The Demon Lord looked cold. I really want to grab. What can you do? Star Demon Ancestor glared at Demon Dragon Lord. Miscellaneous. The Lord of the Dragons looked ugly, and his eyes seemed to spit fire. Magic Dragon, you should be more realistic. You should know that if I decide what I want, there is nothing I can do. I want to grab the prey in your hands, and you can only look at it. There is no way, let alone. You need to find the Lord of the Blood Sword before me. But look at you now. The Lord of the Blood Sword has not fallen into your hands. That is to say, even if I can't take the shot, you will take the blood sword. The Lord has no way at all. Star Demon Ancestor smiled strangely. The demon dragon lord clenched his hands tightly, but was silent without refuting. It seems that the lord of the blood sword is indeed a little capable, and even your devil dragon can't help it, which has made me even more interested. Star demon ancestor smiled. Devil dragon, that the lord of the blood swords is in the huge magic circle in front of you, right? The demon dragon lord looked up at the star demon ancestor and nodded unwillingly. Yes. Just do it. You just stay here and see how I can take down the lord of the blood sword. The ancestor of the star devil smiled and immediately drove the horse-drawn carriage towards the giant law formation ahead. The lord of the devil dragons clenched his hands and stared coldly at the star demon ancestor. His complexion did not converge until the star demon ancestor walked away. The star demon ancestor is really terrible and very cautious. When I talk to the lord, you have been watching your reaction, but the lord you have been prepared and there are no flaws. This star demon the ancestor should have no more doubts. Just wait for him to appear in front of the lord of the blood sword, and then be suppressed by the lord of the blood sword. Hong Yi, the master behind the dragon lord, sneered. The ancestor of the Xingma. The lord of the dragons also looked up. Although he is one of the 10 kings, this ancestor of the Xingma is the most special and has the best means. I usually jealous of him, and relying on his own means, he did not look at other kings. But this time, I will see how he planted it in the hands of the lord of the blood sword. This time, under the command of Jian Wushuang, they made a round for the star demon ancestor, and let the star demon ancestor take the initiative to come to the door. As long as the ancestor of the star demon dared to appear in front of Jian Wushuang, no matter what incredible means he could only be suppressed by Jian Wushuang. Chapter 39:14. Fourth More. A majestic and magnificent law formation covered a vast void. The magic array arranged by the Lord of Flint and Mars is indeed extremely powerful. Even if the Dragon Lord is caught in this magic array, it may take some hands and feet to come out. With such a powerful legal array, the movement is not small. Jane's star demon ancestors were attracted to this place by sensing the existence of the power of this magic circle. Soon, the ancestor of the star devil appeared in the void around the circle, and he stepped down from the carriage and immediately stepped forward to walk directly inside the circle. Okay. The Lord of the Stone Mars, who laid the law formation, sensed the existence of the ancestor of the star devil for the first time. Is the ancestral ancestor finally here? And the breath is so unique? If I had not fully integrated into the circle at this moment, I am afraid that even if he broke into my circle, I may not be able to know the means of this ancestor. Sure enough, it is extraordinary. The Lord of Mars secretly surprised. Now that the ancestor of the Xingma has arrived, and the means are so good, he does not dare to show his sword to Wushuang as soon as possible, in case the ancestor of the Xingma just slips away. You must know that the Lord of the Dragons can say that the ancestors of the Star Demon are endless. No one knows how many means he has so far. Although Jian Wushuang has a disciple's token of the Red Cloud, he can mobilize some of the power of the Eternal Dark Prison. If this ancestor of the Star Devil was vigilant in advance, and used his means to escape in an instant, Jian Wushuang would not be absolutely sure that he could suppress it. The ancestor of the Star has already appeared in the circle, and immediately noticed the Stone Martian Master and Sword Wushuang in the circle. This magic circle is quite unique. It should be the Stone Martian Master who casts the magic circle. The Star Ancestor's ancestor looked at one direction of the circle, and he could sense that the Lord of Mars was at the end of that direction. It was able to be integrated with this law formation, and sense my existence. The accomplishment of this Stone Martian Master is really not weak. If you have the opportunity, you can take him back to my castle and study with him. Array method. The ancestral ancestor smiled, and then he looked at the sword in the center of the array, sitting there with the sword unparalleled. He is the Lord of the Blood Sword. The Star Ancestor carefully looked at Jian Wushuang, as if he wanted to see the whole person completely. What is strange is that he has such a large number of swords unparalleled, and the latter has no gap at all. which shows how clever the ancestor of the Star Devil is to hide his body and breath. The Lord of the Rules realized a trace of the law of the universe. This little guy is really good. The ancestor of the Star Devil smiled, and then an invisible force swept out. Jian Wushuang still didn't notice the slightest. He is now devoting himself to the research and improvement of his two sword arrays. Even if the invisible force appeared around him, he did not respond, and even when the invisible force directly entered his body, he had not found it until the force broke into his sea of knowledge. Not good. The sword's two-sided color changed suddenly, and his eyes opened sharply. He was immediately alert, trying to stop the erosion of that invisible force, but it was clearly over. When that power has poured into his sea of knowledge, it is useless to resist him again. Only in an instant this power poured into the soul in the sea of knowledge, and suddenly found his soul origin, leaving a special mark in his soul origin. This mark is different from the kind of imprint left by Jian Wushuang in the Dragon Lord's soul. The imprint of the sword Wushuang in the source of the souls of the Dragon Lords is just a means of control. He can at any time trigger the imprint and directly destroy the source of the souls of the Dragon Lords, which is equivalent to killing them. The imprint of the Star Demon ancestor at the origin of Jian Wushuang's soul is to completely control Jian Wushuang. He is equivalent to soul slavery. Silently, this soul slavery has been completed. It's done. The Star Demon ancestor smiled slightly, and his figure just slowly emerged from the display of the magic circle. You are the ancestor of Xingmo. Jian Wushuang looked dumb, and looked at the white-haired handsome man who appeared in front of him. It's me. Star Demon ancestor nodded slightly. Strange, you should have been enslaved by my soul. When you see me, you should kneel down and call me the master. Why do you have your own consciousness and thinking? Soul slavery? Hee. Jian Wushuang just smiled coldly, and immediately followed his soul who knew the place to the sea, and immediately burned frantically at a horrible speed. Burning the soul? The star ancestor's face changed. Under the enslavement of my soul, you can still burn the soul, and so decisively? Generally, if you choose to burn your soul, you will die directly. Anyone, even if forced into desperation, has no way to cast his soul to burn. He has to hesitate for a moment, but the Lord of the Blood Sword in front of him has no hesitation. Knowing that his soul has been enslaved, immediately cast the soul burning, very decisive. Suddenly, once the soul burned, there was no way to stop. It's a pity he originally wanted to know how to leave this eternal dark prison from his mouth, but now. Star Demon ancestor frowned. He watched Jian Wushuang's soul burn and dissipate, but in the next moment Jian Wushuang's soul power recovered at an amazing speed. But the difference is that his restored soul was not enslaved. Star Demon ancestor, you are really a good means, silently enslaved my soul. Sword without double-sided content cold, staring at the Star Demon ancestor in front of him. He did care. I feel that I have a very good sense of consciousness and life-saving ability, and there is a disciple of Hongyan's disciples in hand, so she can completely fearlessly and complete her two swords. In the end, he did not notice the arrival of the ancestor of the Star Devil, and did not expect that the means of the ancestor of the Star Devil was so good that he silently enslaved his soul. If he is not a practitioner of perfect life level, the soul origin has already been integrated into every part of the divine power in the body, and if he is already invincible in the soul, at that moment, he has been enslaved by the ancestor of the Star Devil and become his slave. Even if there is a disciple of Hongyan's disciples, he can't bring out the power of the eternal dark prison's magic array in time. Souls are burned out, but they recovered in an instant. Are you a perfect practitioner of life? The ancestor of Star Devil looked at this sword unparalleled. Although he got some information about Jian Wushuang, but Jian Wushuang is the perfect life practitioner, he didn't know it. Chapter 39:15. 5 more arrived today. I have long heard that the ancestor of the Star Devil is the most mysterious and most powerful of the 10 kings of eternal dark prison. Today, he finally learned, and he enslaved the soul of the other party quietly. It really is a good method. Sword Wuxia stared at the star demon ancestor in front of him. His eyes were cold. Haha. I did not expect that in addition to understanding a little of the universe's laws, you are still a practitioner of perfect life level. If such a super genius is placed in the deepest part of the universe, I am afraid that countless super forces will break their heads. The ancestor of the Star Devil smiled, and then said, Lord of the Blood Sword, believe me, even if you are a perfect practitioner of life, its means of life-saving is not weak. Even the magic dragon can't help you, but trust me, I have thousands of ways to kill you. So why don't you think about it, and become my slave? Star Demon Ancestor, I'm afraid this time, you're going to miscalculate. Jian Wuxia smiled chillily, and already took out the disciple of the red cloud vein. As soon as the sign appeared, the ancestor's face changed immediately. Jian Wuxia did not hesitate, and directly mobilized the eternal power of the eternal dark prison to suppress the star demon ancestors. Boom rumbling. The earth trembled, and I saw that the supreme power directly oppressed the ancestor of Star Demon. The distance is too close. The ancestors of Star Devil have thousands of means to escape from this pressure. I saw a snorting moan from the Star Demon ancestor. His figure fell to the ground. His complexion became difficult to look. However, it is worth mentioning that despite the Xeon Power ancestor's repression, his body is still standing, unlike the previous ancestors of the Demon Dragon and other masters, who were directly oppressed lying on the oppression. On the ground, I can't move at all. The ancestor of Star Demon is not only standing, but also barely able to move, but his means of strength must not be able to exert much. Can you stand? Jian Wuxia could not help but mistakenly. He is also one of the 10 kings. The Lord of the Dragons had to lie down under that mighty suppression. The ancestor of the Star Devil could stand? With this alone, Jian Wuxia understands that the strength of the Star Demon ancestor is much stronger than that of the Dragon Lord. Of course, this also has a lot to do with Jian Wuxia himself. Although I can rely on the disciples of Hongyan's disciples to mobilize the power of this eternal dark prison, but because I am only the ruler, the power that I can mobilize is very limited. I am afraid it is only a small part. The most important thing is what's more. The eternal dark prison's legal array was severely damaged during the war that was red and clouded, and the foundation of the legal array was damaged. The eternal dark prison's power has naturally weakened a lot. If the foundation of this eternal dark prison is not damaged, even if I am the master of the rules, I can suppress everything in this first layer. But now, although I can suppress the ancestor of the Star Devil, but I can't as thoroughly as when suppressing the Demon Lord, at least the ancestor of the demon can still stand. Jian Wuxia muttered. Of course, it has been suppressed anyway. Whether the Star Demon ancestor is standing or lying down, Jian Wuxia does not care. Star Demon Patriarch, do you think I need to think about it now? Jian Wu's eyes were cold, standing in front of Star Demon Patriarch. But the thing that made Jian Shuangzi surprised, the expression on the face of the Star Demon ancestor changed only when he took out the red cloud pulse. And now the expression of the Star Devil ancestor has calmed down again. When Jian Wuxia opened his mouth to ask, the ancestor of Star Devil also showed a faint smile. The Lord of the Blood Sword, I know that you must have passed some special ways before you entered the eternal dark prison, and there must be a way to leave this eternal dark prison in your hands. Now it seems that it is true, but I didn't expect you to enter the eternal dark prison through the red cloud command. The ancestor of the Star Devil smiled, without any worries about his current situation. He was completely different from the ancestors of the Demon Dragon and Hongyi when they were suppressed. The pulse of Hongyan has long since been destroyed. This is undoubted. The strong people of Hongyan should have died as a matter of course, and the sign or token in their hands, even if later generations get it, there is no way to recognize the Lord, and naturally it is useless. Because of this, I didn't think of you in the vein of Hongyan, but now it seems that although the vein of Hongyan has been destroyed, there is a legacy. You should be lucky and have the heritage of Hongyan. Only then became a person with a vein of Hongyan, with this disciple's symbol of the red cloud. Star Demon Ancestor said, You're right, I did encounter the inheritance of Hongyun Imai by chance and coincidence, only to become a new disciple of Hongyun Imai, and also entered this eternal dark prison by virtue of this token. Jian Wushuang also admitted directly, followed by he asked, Star Demon Patriarch, you are now in such a field, and you are not in a hurry? Anxiety is useless, not to mention that although I was suppressed by you, the suppression was not thorough enough. Even though I could not escape, I could not use most of the means, but some of the most basic means could still be used. Only the ruler. You might as well try to see if you can kill me. Star Demon Ancestor smiled. The sword has no double-sided color. It is true that his repression against the Star Devil ancestors could not be completely thorough, but even if you can barely use a little trick or some simple body protection methods, I am afraid it will not be too weak. I'll try it then. Wu Jian's eyes narrowed for a moment. Wu Wei's divine sword was in his hand, and the divine power was triggered. Howl! The dim shadow of the sword looted directly, and it was arrogantly the sword's strongest sword skill. The ancestral ancestor who was suppressed by the eternal dark prison array has no room to hide at all, and he has no intention to hide. He just moved his finger slightly, and a huge black vortex appeared instantly. Now it was like a big mouth madly devouring everything around. The hazy swordsmanship performed by Wujian Wushuang. The large haze of mist swept over this black vortex, and was immediately swallowed clean by this black vortex. This is like a drop of water falling into the sea, without any waves. The sword is unparalleled. He could see that the sudden appearance of the black vortex should not have been performed by the ancestors of the Star Devil himself, but was led by the ancestors of the Star Devil in a special way. In other words, this black vortex should come from a special treasure. Chapter 39:16. The first is more. When he was in the Red Cloud realm, the Lord Wu said that in the eternal dark prison, relying on the disciples of Hongyan's disciples, he could easily suppress many masters on the 1st to 5th floors. Now he did suppress the Star Ancestor, but this Star Ancestor is obviously very different from other masters. In this case, he can also guide the black vortex out. This black vortex is also very unique. It should be a very special force. It can't even suppress the power of the eternal dark prison. Jian Wushuang frowned. Under normal circumstances, he mobilizes part of the power of the eternal dark prison to suppress everything. Not only suppressing the ancestors of the Star Devil, including any means or power exerted by the ancestors of the Star Devil, you can directly suppress them. At the moment when the black vortex was guided by the ancestor of the demon, Jian Wushuang also immediately mobilized the Phelan dynasty to suppress the black vortex. But immediately he found that the power of the black vortex was special or strange. Even it is completely unaffected by the power of the array. Star Demon Ancestor, I really despise you. Did not expect that you have mastered this extremely special power? Jian Wushuang stared at the Star Demon Ancestor in front of him. Haha, Lord of the Sword of Blood, although you have been inherited from the vein of Red Cloud, he is afraid of many things in the vein of Red Cloud. You know why the vein of Red Cloud originally held me in this eternal dark prison. Star Devil Ancestor smiled. Don't it be because you committed sins outside? Jian Wushuang's voice was low. Of course not. The reason why Hongyun Yi detained me was because I had this special power in my hand. Although I only had a preliminary grasp at the beginning, it was still enough to make Hongyun Yian's eyes blind. They held me in eternal dark prison. From time to time, people are sent to come in contact with me, trying to figure out how to get this power. Unfortunately, I swear that I will never die, and I have even left a ban in my own Linghu. Even if the person in the Red Cloud has shot it in person, as long as he dares to involve my soul, the ban will trigger, and I will die directly. They don't get what they want too. Star Demon Ancestor smiled. Hearing these words, Jian Wushuang's heart shook inwardly. He doesn't know the true or false words of the Star Demon Ancestor. If it is false, it is okay, but if it is true, the special power in the hands of the ancestors of Star Devil made Hongyan's veins incomprehensible? That particular power is a bit scary. I rely on my own means to entangle the long years with Hongyan's veins. And in the end, until Hongyan's veins are completely destroyed, there is nothing I can do. As for you, you can suppress me with the red cloud's tokens in your hands, but it wouldn't be so easy to kill me completely. Star Devil Ancestor laughed. Qi Jian Wushuang looked at the Star Ancestor in front of him, but his eyes were extremely cold. Stonefire. Sword Wushuang opened. Master. The figure of the Lord of Mars immediately appeared next to Jian Wushuang. Go and call them the dragon. Jian Wushuang commanded. Yes. The Lord of Mars nodded, and immediately set off toward the location of the Lord Dragon Lord and others. Before long, the Dragon Lord and others came to Jian Wushuang. When they saw the suppressed ancestors and the huge black vortex in front of them, they looked very strange. Master. The Lord of Dragons respects Xiang Jian Wushou. Wu Jianso nodded slightly. Oh, Demon Dragon. I didn't expect you to be conquered by the Lord of the Blood Sword long ago. You also deliberately arranged the magic circle and pretended to be a way to deal with him. It seems to be calculated for me. The Star Demon Ancestor smiled and looked at the Demon Ancestor. The Demon Dragon Lord hummed and said nothing. Devil Dragon, this Star Demon Ancestor is indeed very weird. Although I suppressed him, he has a very special power in his hands. This power can shelter him. I just shot with all my strength, but I couldn't kill him. Fuck him. Your strength is a lot stronger than mine. You go all out to see if you can kill him. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes. The Dragon Lord Zheng Jianjian headed, and he also saw the extraordinary black vortex in front of the Star Ancestor. Immediately, the dark golden long stick appeared in the hands of the Dragon Lord, and the Dragon Lord's divine power burst into madness. In a short time, the dark gold stick turned into a dark golden thunder, which slashed down instantly. The surrounding space was smashed with a loud roar. At this moment, the Lord of the Dragons completely burst out of his powerful strength as one of the 10 kings. However, this stick hit the black vortex directly, but the black vortex was only a little tremor, and it recovered after a moment. Normal. The hit of the Demon Dragon Lord still failed to have much effect on the black vortex. This. The Lord Dragon frowned. Lord of the Blood Sword, I said, although you can suppress me, but you can't kill me. Star Demon Ancestors are still fearless. Is that it? Jian Wushuang's mouth was awkward. Star Demon Ancestor. Although I don't know how you have this special power, and I don't know why this special power can even connect with the eternal dark prison's circle willpower can't suppress it, but the power you have should not be endless? Perhaps the attacks I waited on once or twice would not have much impact on this black vortex. But what if there were dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of attacks? Now my side alone is the darkest. There are 6 combat-level combat powers, and the Dragon Lord is here. I can completely and relentlessly attack you again and again against this black vortex. I don't believe it. Your black vortex can be maintained forever. Affected. Wu Jian's voice was cold. When he heard him, the eyes of the Dragon Lord and others were all bright. And the Star Demon Ancestor's eyes narrowed slightly. He took a deep look at Jian Wushuang, and then laughed again. Haha. You're right. I can rely on this special force for 2 or 1 attack withstand it. But if there are hundreds or thousands of attacks, it will not be able to withstand it. So it seems that I am destined to die here today. Since you are destined to die, then you will not do it yourself. The Star Ancestor is still laughing, but suddenly a breath of impatientness emerged from him, and the power of the soul he knew in the sea began to burn wildly at an amazing speed. Wu Jianwushuang, Lord of the Dragons, and others were taken aback. It was so decisive to burn the soul and die. Jian Wushuang was extremely shocked inside. This is too decisive. It seems that you don't care about your life at all. The Dragon Lord and others were also confused. Chapter 39:17. Second more. You know, the Dragon Lords were all suppressed before. Although they were suppressed, they were not completely desperate in the process of suppression, because they understood that Jian Wushuang might suppress them, but they might not kill them. Sure enough, sword unparalleled conditions, they chose to surrender. But now, the star ancestor did not even ask a question, knowing that he was suppressed, and Jian Wushuang has the ability to kill him. He directly burned the soul to choose the dead end, and did not give the sword Wushuang a condition at all opportunity. Of course, Jian Wushuang had already promised the ancient night devil, so he must kill the ancestor of the star devil. But before killing the ancestor of the star devil, he still wanted to get something from the ancestor of the star demon. However, the ancestor of star devil had no chance at all, and directly and decisively chose to burn the soul. And one more thing, it is even more strange. When the ancestor of the star devil burned the soul, he was not only decisive, but also very calm. He did not show the slightest resentment in his expression or words. He even burned the soul with a smile. Before Jian Wushuang suppressed a strong person, when they conquered them, although some strong ones would rather die than indulge and choose to burn their souls to commit suicide, they burned their souls as a last resort. In the eyes of the ancestors, how can they be unwilling and resentful? Master of the blood sword. The old star ancestor once again spoke. His soul has burned more than half. This intense burning pain of the soul, he bears it, but his appearance has not changed at all. You are very good. I believe that it won't be long before we meet again. Star demon ancestor smiled. What? The swordless double-sided color suddenly changed. It won't be long before we meet again? The ancestors of star demon now burn their souls and die. How can they meet again? Is this star demon ancestor just a clone? Jian Wushuang frowned and looked at the star demon old man in front of him. But the soul of the latter became weaker and weaker, and finally completely dissipated. The star progenitor's ancestor body also lost its vitality, landed on the ground, and was completely dead. Looking at the corpse left by the ancestor of star demon, Jian Wushuang was quite heavy inside. He can see that the star demon ancestor in front of him is indeed dead. The soul is completely burned and exhausted. The body has completely lost its vitality, and the star demon ancestor does not seem to be a clone. After all, although there are some unique avatars in the vast universe, this avatar is integrated with the soul of the deity. If the soul burns and perishes, no matter the deity will die. Underneath, the soul burned clean, and it didn't look like it could survive. But the sentence left by the ancestor of the Xingma, and the calmness of calm, made him have to doubt whether the ancestor of the Xingmo really died. Wu Jian Wushuang was pondering. The lords of the dragons and the masters of the emperor, who were next to him, looked at the body of the ancestor of the star devil, and secretly booed. The star ancestor, the most mysterious and most terrifying king in the first space of the eternal dark prison. But now he died in front of them. Everyone is concerned about the death of the star demon ancestor. However, in the surrounding void, the luxurious carriage that the star devil ancestor traveled all the way was suspended there. The white horse with dorsal wings that drove the carriage, and a large number of them caught by the ancestors in the back of the carriage, have become livestock or animal practitioners. When the ancestors of star demon live, these practitioners are all livestock animals. Now when the ancestors of the star devil die, the restraint that has been tied to them disappears immediately. Time. Boom! A trembling roar. That luxurious carriage burst directly, followed. Countless figures appeared in this world at the same time. Haha! Recovered, we recovered. Dead, the ancestral ancestor was killed. Haha! I thought I would be caught back by the star demon ancestors for a long time, but I didn't expect that in a blink of an eye, the star demon ancestors died. It is the lord of the blood sword, the ancestor of the star demon he killed. And he is a person in the vein of Hong Yun, a vein of red clouds. Forbidden contact. These practitioners immediately restored their original appearance. At the same time, they had been in the surrounding void. Although they were turned into livestock in the back box, they knew what happened outside. They saw the sword unparalleled movement. The power of the eternal dark prison's magic array suppressed the ancestors of the star devil, forcing the ancestors of the star devil to burn themselves and commit suicide. After they recovered, all eyes immediately looked at Jian Wushuang. Not good. The looks of Wuxia Wushuang and the Lord of the Dragons all changed instantly. They only paid attention to the death of the star demon ancestors, but did not notice the many practitioners caught by the star demon ancestors. Hurry up, suppress them. Jian Wu's eyes were cold, and he immediately did his best to mobilize the power of the Eternal Dark Prison's magic array, and directly suppressed them towards these practitioners. The Lord of the Dragons, the Lord of the Martians, the Lord of the Emperor's Bazaar, etc. also shot at this moment. They want to suppress or kill all these practitioners. However, the number of these practitioners is too much. The star demon ancestors came all the way before, but they crossed a large area and met a large number of practitioners on the way. Most of these practitioners were caught by him in the trunk of the carriage. On the way, the star demon ancestors, there are nearly 10,000 practitioners captured. Nearly 10,000 practitioners had originally become livestock and animals staying in the back box. Now, because of the death of the ancestor of the star demon, all their original appearance and strength have been restored at this instant. The dense tens of thousands are at the second level. The highest number of practitioners stood in the void. Although Jian Wuxia reacted for the first time, he wanted to suppress it. But those practitioners did not react too slowly. When they saw the action of the sword unparalleled, they immediately stirred up. Run away, the main bloodsword suppresses us. Hurry up and escape. Scattered and flee, we have a lot of people, he can't suppress it. At this moment, tens of thousands of practitioners fled at the same time, and fled in all directions. As they expected, although Jian Wuxia can mobilize some of the power of the Eternal Dark Prison, it can easily suppress one master, but it is impossible to suppress the 10,000 practitioners at the same time. Not to mention the recent 10,000 practitioners are not in front of him, but a certain distance from him. Under the suppression of Jian Shuang, he only suppressed a small part, but hundreds of people, most of them have escaped the sight of Jian Wuxia. Chapter 39:18. Third more. Trouble. I watched that most practitioners escaped from under their eyelids, and the double-sided sword was slightly ugly. Although these practitioners have no resentment against him, there is no need to kill them all. However, these practitioners have just seen him mobilize the Eternal Dark Prison array power to suppress the ancestors of the star demon, and they all know that he is a man of red clouds. Now that they have escaped, and there are so many people, it won't be long before his identity will be known in the Eternal Dark Prison. You know, he used to be cautious and didn't use the power of the array easily. But he didn't want to expose his identity. But now his identity is completely exposed. Then he will act in the Eternal Dark Prison in the future. But it is far from the previous one. So convenient. No one knew my identity before. And naturally no one would have any fear of me, even because of the precious sword in my hand. But it would attract a strong person to take the initiative to come to the door, like the Dragon Lord and Star Demon. My ancestors came to me like this. But after the identity is revealed, it is impossible to want other strong men to take the initiative to come to the door. Not only that, if the strong man in Eternal Dark Prison sees me in the future, I am afraid that the first thought is escape. Absolutely dare not appear in front of me and fight with me. And the other 8 kings? Wu Jinsho frowned. The 10 kings in the first floor of Eternal Dark Prison. Now the Lord of the Dragons has surrendered to him, and the ancestor of the star demon has died, but there are still 8 kings. The strength of the 8 kings is also very arrogant. Even the weakest are not inferior to the Dragon Lord, and several of them have the rule of treasure. Like the Scorpion Lord, he has 5 rules of the treasure, and 2 of them Jintian Bei, a sword that is of great use. Of course, Jian Wuxia had ideas for the remaining 8 kings. Originally, according to his own plan, after dealing with the star demon ancestors, he asked the Lord of the Dragons to take him one by one to find the 8 kings, and then used the means to bring them. The 8 kings were all repressed, and it would be best if the 8 kings were subject to him. But now that his identity is revealed, the 8 kings know that he is a man of red clouds, and how can he give him another chance to suppress it? If the 8 kings are not stupid, as soon as they get the news, They will definitely find a place to hide immediately after hiding for hundreds of millions of years. When he left, the 8 kings appeared again. In other words, with the encounter just now, he wants to continue to be a pig and a tiger, and go and conquer the 8 kings one by one. It is no longer realistic, even more than the 8 kings. The top powerhouses, such as those who are at the level of the strongest in the dark, are expected to choose to hide. Magic Dragon. Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. Master. Lord Dragon came forward respectfully. How far is the territory of the Scorpion Lord you said before from the Dragon Domain? Jian Wushuang asked. Not far away, next to my Devil Dragon realm. If the owner starts now, he should be able to arrive within 500 years. Demon Lord said. 500 years? Jian Wushuang frowned. Why is it so long? The star demon ancestor was not in the demon dragon domain before, but after knowing my news, he immediately rushed over. But it was useless. Time. The ancestor of the star devil is against the sky. He has created an extremely special black bird that is extremely fast, and can cross the entire first level of the eternal dark prison in a short time. He also was on his carriage. The same method was used, so his carriage was extremely fast. It didn't take too long to travel from one large area to another, but we didn't have that ability. The ancestor of the dragon said. On the first floor of the eternal dark prison, there is a great distance between one large domain and another. If it is at our normal speed, it will take 500 years to reach the monster scorpion from the dragon realm. For a long time. But the owner, please rest assured that the transmission of this eternal dark prison message is very troublesome. Although the lords of various large domains have some special means of collecting information, in just 500 years, this information may not be able to be transmitted to other lords. In your ears. Second, I just said 500 years ago, but under normal circumstances, but I know that there is a special treasure in the hand of the Lord of Mars. If I use this special treasure for hurrying, I am afraid that time can be saved 10 times. That is to say 5-10 years should be enough. Oh! Jian Wushuang could not help looking at the Lord of Mars. The Lord of Flint and Mars smiled and said, Back to the master. I do have a cosmic boat in my hand. If it is used to hurry, it can save a lot of time. Spaceship. Jian Wushuang looked. The cosmic boat is a flying treasure that can travel through the dark and empty universe. After all, the vast universe is endless, and 99% are dark and empty. If the practitioners in the universe wander in the vast universe naturally, it is necessary to wear in the dark and empty space of the universe all the year round, and this shuttle is too slow, depending on the flying speed of the practitioners themselves. The Lord of the Martian smiled. And the cosmic boat, in the darkness of the universe, can burst into a terrible speed, much faster than the practitioner's speed. Naturally, the time spent on the road can be greatly reduced, but the value of the boat in the universe is also high. Even the lowest cosmic boat, the third-order dominated family can't afford it. I'm also lucky. In this eternal dark prison, I killed one. The strong man got such a cosmic boat from him. Although what I got was only the lowest cosmic boat, and that cosmic boat had been greatly broken. Many of the magic circles above were broken. It was completely useless, but what I was good at was the formation method. These years, I spent a lot of energy and methods to restore the formation on the cosmic boat a lot. And even considering the environment of the eternal dark prison, I specially added some other special formations to make it better. Traversing through the eternal dark prison. Now, this cosmic boat may not be able to travel normally in the darkness of the universe, but in this eternal dark prison, it can definitely travel normally. And of course it is also fast. Obviously very confident in that spacecraft. That's good. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up long ago. Now my identity is exposed. If the remaining 8 kings knew my identity, 80% would be scared to hide directly, and the other 7 kings would be fine, but the Lord of Scorpions. I must have the rule of treasure in his hands. Chapter 39:19. Fourth More. magic dragon, stone fire. You two set off immediately with me. The Lord of the Scorpion has not yet received the news, and rushed to the Scorpion realm to suppress him. Jian Wuxuangdo. Yes. Both the Lord Dragon and the Martian Lord nodded immediately. Emperor braked. You and Hongyi will go to the 9th dark area to meet with Qiansha and others, and then wait for me there. Jian Wuxuang commanded again. Master, what about these people around? Suddenly asked the Emperor. Jian Wuxuang looked around. Nearly 10,000 practitioners have appeared at the same time. Although most of them have been escaped, there are still hundreds of people who failed to escape in time. They were suppressed by the sword unparalleled swords, or captured by the Dragon Lord and others. These people. Jian Wu's eyes were cold. He could see at a glance that these people were relatively ordinary. Many of them were only dominated by the 2nd level. Of course, there were also many 3rd levels dominated. District's strongest, but none of them. The Lord of the Blood Sword. I am willing to surrender, willing to pay all the treasures. Just ask you to wait for my life. Lord of the Blood Sword, forgive me. Most of these repressed practitioners are begging for mercy, but some are silent. I don't need waste around me, these people all killed. The sword has no double-sided indifference. Yes. The Lord Dragon Lord several hands immediately started. Do not. Lord of the Blood Sword, you must not die. Blood Sword, sooner or later you will die, you will. In a stern roar. These hundreds were at least the masters of the 2nd level peak, and they were all killed. As for the treasures and Qianquan ring left by them, they all fell into the hands of Jian Wuxuang. These people, to me, the only use of the world in the beginning is these treasures they left. Jian Wu's eyes were cold and without mercy. His soul level is low, and it is impossible to leave a mark in the soul origin of too many people. So those who are eligible to become his slaves must be elites, at least the level of the strongest in the dark, and these people won nowhere. And most of these people were detained for committing heinous sins. Of course, Jian Wuxuang will not be merciful, kill them directly, and deprive them of their grasp. These masters who can survive such a long time in the eternal dark prison are all worthy. Each has a lot of strongest treasures, killing hundreds of people in one breath. And the sword has won a large number of strongest treasures in an instant. After returning to the early divine realm, these strongest treasures can also be used by the powerfuls of the early divine realm. After the slaughter of these practitioners, Jian Wuxuang soon set off with the Dragon Lord and Stone Martian Lord. I saw a huge black wooden boat galloping fast in the void. This galloping speed was far more than dozens of times faster than the fastest speed of the 3rd series. Such a terrible speed ran rampant. Resistance. Originally, it took about 500 years to rush from the Magic Dragon realm to the Magic Scorpion realm, but it took only 38 years to ride this cosmic boat. In just 38 years, his identity has not yet spread in the entire dragon domain. In the hinterland of the Demon Scorpion field, a huge black icy stone castle stands there. This huge black castle is where the Lord of the Scorpions lives. In the eternal dark prison, the environmental resources are limited. Although there are large territories, there are no cities in these territories, and there are very few buildings. Even if there are, they are mostly such stone castles or castles and the like. The Lord Scorpion's castle is wider than the Dragon Castle. Humming, a huge cosmic boat appeared in the void outside the castle. From the cosmic boat, 3 people came down. Naturally the 3 swordsmen, the Dragon Lord and the Stone Martian Master. Shihua, your spaceship is really good. Jian Wuxuang smiled. If the owner likes it, he will take it, said the Martian Master with a smile. Say it again. Jian Wuxuang just waved his hand, followed by a look at the Demon Lord. Demon Dragon, your strength is similar to that Devil Lord, and you should be very familiar with his divine breath. You first look, he is not in this stone castle. Yes. The Lord of the Demon Dragons immediately stepped forward, and the power of the soul spread directly, and all the breath in the huge stone castle in front of him was within his perception range. Suddenly, at the deepest part of the stone fortress, there was an extremely strong and powerful breath, and that breath was slightly stronger than his Demon Dragon Lord. I noticed this breath. and the Dragon Lord couldn't help laughing. Master, the old scorpion is in this stone castle and hasn't left. It seems he hasn't got any news yet, said the Dragon Lord. That's all right. Jian Wushuang also showed a smile on his face. The reason why he arrived here in such an anxiety as fast as possible was that he was worried that the Scorpion Lord got the news in advance and hid. The Eternal Dark Prison is extremely vast, and a Scorpion domain alone is huge enough. If the Scorpion Lord hides, he may be really hard to find. Then I want to get the few treasures in the hands of the Scorpion Lord, especially that Liangzuan Town Monument is difficult. Fortunately, he is fast enough. The Lord of the Scorpions has not heard of it yet. Master, that old scorpion also senses my existence and has come towards us. Demon Lord said, Let's go, we will meet the Lord of Scorpions. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Wujian Wushan and the Dragon Lord rushed forward, and the Stone Martian Lord waited quietly on the spacecraft. Soon Jian Wushuang met the Scorpion Lord. Lord Scorpion, his whole body is covered with a layer of black armor. His hair is messy, his nose is sunken, and there are black secret lines next to the corners of his eyes. These black secret lines are like scales, and they look incomparable. The appearance of this Scorpion Lord can also be said to be extremely ugly. Devil Dragon, why did you come to me today? The Lord Scorpion narrowed his eyes and stared at the Lord Dragon. As for the sword Shou Shuang beside him, he didn't care too much. Old Scorpion, I am here today to introduce you to someone. The Dragon Lord smiled and cried. Recommend someone, just the ruler by your side? The Lord of Scorpions revealed his surprise. Yes, it is my master, the Lord of the Blood Sword. The Lord Dragon smiled. Master. The Lord Scorpion was startled. Lord of the Scorpion. Jian Wushuang looked at the Lord of the Scorpion with a smile, and flipped his right hand. He already took out the token of the red cloud. Chapter 39:20. 5 more arrived today. A red cloud of tokens. Seeing the token taken out of Jian Wu's hands, the Lord of the Scorpions was frightened and almost fluttered. He screamed, his face twitching madly, making the already ugly face even more ugly. In the first level of this eternal dark prison, the Lord of the Scorpion Lords is definitely going to have wind and rain. If there is rain, there is a transcendence of existence. Even inside the top 10 kings, he exists a little to those star demon ancestors. Except for fear, he didn't take his other minds seriously. Such superpowers have not been scared or panicked for a long time in eternal dark prison, let alone scared. But now the Lord of the Scorpions is really frightened. He is not afraid of anyone or other kings. Even if he is the ancestor of Star Devil. Although mysterious, he is also jealous. But if the other party is killed, he is not afraid. But what is he doing in the face of this eternal? The true master is incapable of facing the red cloud, who created this eternal dark prison. Demon Dragon, you hurt me. The Scorpion Lord snarled, and the next moment he was suppressed by Jian Wushuang. After a long while, in the stone castle of the Lord of the Scorpions, the Lord of the Scorpions, who was still unwilling to roar above the void, was standing in front of the sword without reverence at this moment. And the Lord of Dragons was standing side by side with him. Magic Scorpion, I heard the Magic Dragon said, you have 5 treasures in your hand, all of them. Sword Wushuangdo. The corner of the Scorpion Lord's mouth twitched slightly, and his eyes looked a little coldly at the next Dragon Lord. The Lord of the Demon Dragons is gloating. It was also suppressed, and it was also chosen to surrender to Sword Warrior. However, the Lord of the Dragon Swords did not have a rule of treasure. As for the other sword warriors of the sword, they were not very interested, but the Lord of the Scorpions had 5 rules. Of these 5 rules, Jian Wushuang definitely wants it. Although full of unwillingness, the Lord of Scorpions immediately took out the 5 rules of the treasure. These 5 rules are precious. In addition to the 2 town monuments, there are a blue sword, a warhammer, and a purple stone stick. Master, these 5 rules are in the treasure. The warhammer is my attacking soldier. With his strength, my strength can stabilize the front line of the dragon. The Scorpion Lord said a little. He said this mainly because he wanted to tell Jian Wushuang that the warhammer was his best blade. He wanted to leave the warhammer, Wu Jianwushuang glanced at the Lord of the Scorpions and immediately threw his hand over the warhammer. Since you used the warhammer, it will be left to you. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. Lord Scorpion immediately rejoiced. This stone stick should be the one you have been longing for in the Devil Dragon? Jian Wushuang looked at the Demon Dragon Lord again. Yes. The Lord of the Dragons nodded again and again, looking at the stone stick full of heat. Okay, this stone stick is for you. I hope that your strength will be improved. Jian Wushuangdo. Thank the Master. The Lord Dragon also thanked him quickly and said, The Master is assured. The reason why I was not an opponent of this scorpion, or the lack of the rule of the hand, the precious treasure, now with this stone stick, my battle the force will never be weaker, or even stronger, than the scorpion. Strength? Devil Dragon, you are too arrogant. The Lord of the Scorpion gave him a cold glance. Why, I don't believe it. When I've refined the stone stick, you and I can look at it. The Lord of the Dragons deliberately provoked. Okay, fight, fight. There was a trace of anger in the Lord Scorpion's eyes. Shut up. Jian Wushuang's voice sank. The Lord of the Demon Dragons and the Lord of the Scorpions calmed down immediately. Jian Wushuang is continuing to look at the 3 rules in front of the treasure. This sword. I have some of my servants who use the sword as their blade, but the strength is not too strong. Even if this rule is the precious sword, the overall combat strength will not be too great. Keep it first. Wushuang waved the ruled treasure sword into Qianyan's ring. As for the last 2 town monuments, Jian Wushuang is directly refined in the face of the Lord of the Scorpions, and the process is very short, just a moment of effort. How come? This is the town monument. I spent a lot of money before. I could not really refine one of them, but the Master you. The Scorpion Lord looked at Jian Wushuang in astonishment. Stupid. I'm afraid you don't know yet, but the Master has realized a trace of the super genius of the universe. Isn't it easy to refine the town's monument? The Lord Dragon taunted. Is that so? The Lord of Scorpions suddenly understood, and at the same time there was a shock in his heart. The Lord of the Rules realized a trace of the law of the universe, which was incredible. The reason why I can refining these 2 town monuments so quickly is mainly because I have had refining experience before. Jian Wushuang said, Have you any experience? The Lord of the Scorpions stunned. Master, do you mean? Do you have another town monument in your hand? Of course. Jian Wushuang smiled, and immediately another town monument appeared in the void in front of him. Of course, under the deliberate control of Jian Wushuang, the 3 town monuments have been reduced in size, only a few feet tall. 3 statues of the town monument. The Scorpion Lord's gaze was fiery. I heard from the dragon that these years, you have been looking for the whereabouts of the 3rd town monument. Because of this, I came to you the first time. If I am not wrong, you should have the special law circle that cooperates with this town's sky monument. Sword Wushuang stared at the Lord Scorpion. The Scorpion Lord took a deep breath, and immediately Zheng Jianjian head. Master, I do have that magic circle, and it happens to be the first level of magic circle that requires 3 town monuments. That's great. Jian Wushuang's eyes lightened. Give me that array. The Lord of the Scorpions didn't hesitate. He waved a hand and gave it to Jian Wushuang. The magic circle is in this ring. The Master can take a closer look. Wu Jian won the command, and consciousness immediately searched. Sure enough, there is a specific information about the special magic circle in the order, including the control steps and methods. However, this law formation was created by the top supreme, who created the town monument. After that, the top emperor excels in the accomplishment of the formation law. With this law formation and 108 town monuments, it is comparable to an invincible supreme level of space overlord. Have you ever known the remaining kings who have the rule of treasure? Do they have any type of rule of treasure in addition to attacking the magic soldiers? Jian Wushuang asked Road. Well, the Lord Scorpion and the Lord Dragon looked at each other. The former affirmed with certainty. Master, among the remaining great kings, there are indeed a few of them who have the rule of treasure, but all they have are attacks magic soldiers. As for other types, I am afraid there are no. At least we have not seen them come out. None. Jian Wushuang frowned. Master, you also know that the first level of this eternal dark prison is dominated by the first and second series. As for the third series, they are actually accumulated after a long period of time, slowly breaking through. For many of the masters here, the rule of law is the treasure that cannot be reached. The reason why there are so many arcane treasures in the first floor of Eternal Dark Prison now is because there were too many prisoners in the original detention, and a few of them who had bad luck got the arcane treasure, but they all have it's just attacking the soldiers. Of course, the Zhen Tianbei can be regarded as the rule of repression. However, this town Tianbei is very special and has a large number, so it will fall into the hands of some first or second grade masters. Fall into my hands, Lord Scorpion said. Which is the case. Then I don't need to exhaust my efforts to deal with those other kings. Jian Wushuang said. In fact, it is only a few decades before he killed the star demon ancestors. The other kings of the domain should not have heard the news, nor have they chosen to hide. If he is now the fastest, the speed of the spacecraft drives the spacecraft, and there is still a chance to suppress one or two kings. But Jian Wushuang apparently didn't intend to do this. After all, those kings should not have a rule that is useful to him. Even if he suppresses one king, he will not get much. It is better to spend these time used to enlighten the method that drives Xintianbei. The following time, Jian Wushuang stayed in this magic scorpion castle and realized the special law formation. The Jaina method is called the God Magic Town Sky method. Although it is only a simplified version of the first layer, it is still enough to study the school time. At the same time as Jian Wushuang studied the formation, the news that the ancestor of the Star Devil was dead, and the Lord of the Dragon was suppressed and forced to surrender, has begun to spread in the first layer of Eternal Dark Prison. As expected by Jian Wushuang, the remaining 7 kings were shocked when they heard the news. The first choice they made was to escape from the castle where they lived and find everywhere is hidden. They were also afraid that the Lord of the Blood Sword, who had a token of the Red Cloud, would kill the door directly to suppress them. After all, they might be stronger than the main Blood Sword in terms of strength, but the other party has a red cloud of tokens, which can easily suppress them. Once suppressed, their lives and deaths are under the control of each other. Of course, these kings dare not take risks. I concealed myself and escaped for hundreds of millions of years. Chapter 39-22. Second More. In the Scorpion Castle, Jian Wushuang has lived here for 130 years. In this 130 years, Jian Wushuang has devoted all his energy to the research of the God and Magic Town Sky formation, plus the help of the Lord of Mars, and the Lord of the Scorpions to help point. Until now this method was barely mastered. 130 years, this is only the simplest first-level legal matrix. If it is a higher second-level legal matrix, a third-level legal matrix, or even the ultimate level of this legal matrix, I really do know how complicated it is. What is it like? Jian Wushuang secretly sighed. This is mainly because the master's practice time is too short, and there is not much research on confrontation methods, so it will take a long time. If you change to some live time, the practitioners in the school field will be bored. There will be some research in the field, and it will certainly be the same with the method of confrontation. It should be easier for them to understand the law. Shermar said. This is also true. Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. His cultivation time is indeed too short, compared with those who are held in the Eternal Dark Prison for hundreds of chaos period. It is too short and too short. These masters have lived for too long, and are too boring. Naturally, they will be involved in various paths, and they will naturally study in the formation method. Sun Jian Wushuang has only really begun to get involved in the formation of the 2 major sword formations in recent years. It is naturally incomparable to those who have lived a long time. Stone Fire Magic Scorpion, these years there are 2 labor. Sword Wushuangdo. Master is polite. Stone Mars said. It is a blessing for both of them to serve the master, said the Lord Scorpion. In this 130 years, the Lord of Mars and the Lord of the Scorpions helped the sword unparalleled. It is needless to say that the Master of Flint and Mars, together with the formation method, can give Jian Wushuang very guidance and help. And the Lord of the Scorpions, although his understanding of the formation method is far less than the Lord of the Martian, he was the first to get the magic square of the heavenly formation. He has already mastered this formation and can naturally give the sword unparalleled experience and help. It is precisely because of the help of the two of them that Jian Wushuang only spent 130 years. Otherwise they are afraid that it will take longer. The legal array has been mastered, and now it is time to try the power of this legal array. Let's go. Jian Wushuang smiled and swept directly into the void outside the castle. Soon, Jian Wushuang came to a vast expanse of void. Without millions of miles in this void, no practitioner exists. And Sword Wushuang, standing in the center of this void, waved his hands, and immediately the three towering town monuments floated out at the same time, and fell in three different corners of this void. The monuments in the town of Sanzuan exude an ancient and vast atmosphere. God and Magic Town Kai. Swords in Wushuang's eyes flashed fiercely, and a number of special handprints patted one after another. Under the guidance and control of Sword Wushuang, the three celestial beings were lifted up, and a series of complex golden mysterious patterns flashed and flashed quickly, buzzing. The void shook slightly. The next moment, golden lights radiated from the three monuments of the town at the same time. This golden light is connected to each other, and in the blink of an eye, the three town monuments have completely intersected, and a large golden law formation has been formed directly. This golden circle is like a huge golden cage, covering the vast world, and a breath of horror is constantly rising in this circle. Magic Dragon, try it in my circle. Jian Wushuang instructed. Yes. The Lord of the Dragons nodded, and his shape immediately plunged into the center of the golden circle. I want to start you, be careful. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly, followed his thoughts. Suppress. Boom! The entire golden circle was a sudden roar, and the endless golden light covered the Magic Dragon Lord directly at an incredible speed. These golden lights are all invisible. The Lord of the Dragons wanted to dispel these golden lights for the first time, but as a result, his power would not have any effect on the golden lights. I saw the golden light sweeping across the sky, and this sight covered the entire body of the Dragon Lord. At this moment, the Dragon Lord felt only a horrible power acting on his body. Although this power did not bring him how much damage has suppressed his mind to the greatest extent, suppressing his power. This repressive force is very strong, although I can't resist the first time I can suppress it, but my strength is greatly weakened under this repressive force. It is estimated that I can exert 70% of my strength, even if it is good. The Lord of the Dragons is a little horrified. Can you still play 70% of your strength? Jian Wushuang's look moved, not surprised. The magical town of heaven and magic is to suppress the world to the greatest extent, and the practitioners will naturally be subjected to a huge force of repression when they are trapped in the circle. However, because of the weak power of Jian Wushuang, the suppressive force should not be too bad. I use this strength to perform this demon suppression method. I am afraid that the general first series and even second series can easily resist the suppression, and the general third series is dominated by in my circle. I am afraid that I will have to tremble, and my strength can show 2 or 3 achievements. But the Dragon Lord, after all, is one of the top 10 kings. He is capable, and can play nearly 70% of his power. Sword Wushuang muttered. However, this is just the most basic repressive force revealed after the Magic Dragon Celestial Array cooperates with the Jintian Monument, and the power contained in the 3 town monuments has not yet been fully exerted. Jian Wushuang smiled, but her eyes flickered. But a ray of cosmic law merged into the 3 town monuments at the same time. Suddenly, roar! Faintly heard a low hissing sound. The 3 town monuments trembled violently. Immediately on the surface of the 3 town monuments, the endless golden secret lines condensed, but they were condensed into 3 towering tall gold at the same time virtual shadow. These 3 golden ghosts are the golden ghosts and ghosts hidden in the town monument. The town monument was created by the extremely top-ranking Supreme, who formed the original formation together. This top Supreme created 108 town monuments, and each town monument contained a golden color. The remnant soul of the demon. This golden demon is actually some extremely powerful practitioners. All of them had the ultimate dominance during their lifetime. Unfortunately, they were all killed by the top Supreme and incorporated their remnants into the town's monument. The arrogance of the town monument. Of course, this was created by the top Supreme, the first 108 town monuments. Chapter 39-23. Third more. Shizhen can be divided into 2 types. One type is the 108 town monuments created by the top Supreme. The 108 town monuments are extremely powerful. Each one is a top-class rule. The value is even more valuable. Immeasurable. The other is that some powerful people later refined their own town monuments, and they can also be used in conjunction with the town monuments of the gods and magic towns. The Golden Demon Remnant Soul. But the quality of this Golden Demon Remnant Soul is not as good as the first one. The 108 town monuments created by the top Supreme are the ultimate souls of the ultimate masters, which are the top-level magic array treasures, and the town monuments refined by future generations. Most of the close-up demon ghosts are only ghosts dominated by the 4th or 5th series, and the materials used are not the same. On the level, they are only the level of inferiority. The 3 town monuments that Jian Wushuang now holds obviously belong to the second type. But even so, the control of this town monument is also very difficult. Jian Wushuang still has to understand a little cosmic law to be able to master the town monument, and it can also awaken the golden demon soul inside. Like the Lord of the Scorpions, although he also mastered the magical town of Heavenly Magic Array, even if Jian Wushuang handed over the 3 town monuments to him, he could barely rely on the magical array to display the suppression. However, it was impossible to summon the golden ghost of Jintianbei. This is also where the Lord of the Scorpions is far worse than the sword unparalleled. Now the 3 golden demon remnants are all emerging, and suddenly a terrible power bursts out from these 3 golden demon remnants. In a short time, the tremendous repressive power that had been so great has been improved a great deal on the basis of the original. The suppression is stronger, my dear, my current strength. I am afraid that I can only play at most 50%. The Lord of the Dragon's face sank slightly. At the same time that the repressive power was greatly increased, the 3 golden demon remnants sent out a hazy golden light and surged towards the sword unparalleled. Under the baptism of golden light, Jian Wushuang felt his divine power, and at this moment he got a tremendous improvement. This improvement is like a special mystery, the power to suppress to the greatest extent to suppress the opponent, but at the same time, my strength has been improved to a certain extent. Jian Wushuang's eyes twinkled. This magic town Tianfa array is actually quite detailed with some domain methods. Many domain methods are used to oppress opponents, but at the same time they can bless themselves. Now the same can be done with this magic town, but the effect is stronger. In addition to the repressive power, this magic devil's heavenly formation also contains a heavy killing trick. This heavy killing move, Jian Wushuang already mastered. Magic Dragon. Next I will use this magic array to kill. You have to be careful. If you can't support it, then say. Jian Wushuangdo. The master is as good as he can do it. The Dragon Lord's eyes were dignified. He turned his hands, and a purple stone stick appeared in his hands. This purple stone stick is exactly the magic circle obtained from the Lord of the Scorpions. The Lord of the Dragons has refined this purple stone stick over the years. With the rule of treasure at hand, the power of this Dragon Lord is naturally stronger than before. A lot. French array kill. The sword has no double-sided color sinking, and the imposing golden light bursts out from the 3 town monuments at the same time, And the three golden gods and ghosts on the town monument also stare more. Howling Lala, this mighty golden light, like a blade, easily cuts through the void, like an ocean of swords, madly attacking and killing the demon dragon lord. The demon dragon lord immediately waved the purple stone stick in his hand. Boom, 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 boom. I saw a horrifying spectacle of violent blasts, and the violent blasts burst out, dispersing all the golden light from the surroundings. After dozens of attacks, the sky-like golden light finally dissipated. The Lord of the Demon Dragons is still standing at the very center of the golden circle, but at this moment his breath is a bit turbulent. Why did the master stop? The Dragon Lord looked over. He could see the golden light just like a blade. Although he had been defeated a lot by him, it should not have reached the limit of this magic circle. This magic circle should be okay. Cast more golden light. Magic Dragon, how do you think I can do that trick? Jian Wushuang asked. It's very strong. The golden light and power are extremely good. They are no less than the full blow of the third level. The key quantity is also many. I can only exert 5 strengths under the suppression of this circle. Success, even if I have to resist these golden lights, it is not easy, said the Dragon Lord. But don't you all resist it in the end? Jian Wushuang smiled lightly, but if he looked closely, there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. Yes, it's a surprise. Hagihara Sword originally had great expectations for the power of this magic town, and now it is being put on display. This law team did not disappoint him. Whether it is the repressive power of the French front, or the blessing of his own strength, it has a great effect on him. But what really surprised him was the heavy killing trick he just performed. With this heavy killing trick, you can send out a golden light like a blade. These golden lights are densely attacked, and the power is very powerful. However, Jian Wushuang saw from these golden lights some similarities to his wave of light sword formation. The wave of light sword formation is to form a huge sword-like ocean and carry out the sword-like wave impact again and again. That sword-like wave is vast and endless, no matter who it is, as long as it falls into his sword formation, unless it can rely the powerful attack method directly defeated his sword formation, or used his escape technique to fight from his sword formation. Otherwise he would have been trapped in this sword formation and always suffered the impact of the sword wave. If it is purely on the nature, the devil's heavy killing trick is to kill the opponent, and the wave lightsaber array is just to trap the enemy. Judging from the process of the two, they do have many similarities. That is, the golden light strikes like a blade, and the endless impact of swordsmanship in his wave of lightsabers. Let Jian Wushuang's mind suddenly had an idea. If I can combine my wave lightsaber array with this demon town sky law formation, no, just with this demon move of the devil town sky law formation, can the power be stronger? Jian Wushuangren murmured, and a strange light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 39-24. Fourth More. Stonefire. Jian Wushuang called the stone Mars over. One direction in my mind is whether the killing tricks in the heavenly array of the gods and demons I just cast can be compared with the wave of lightsaber array created by myself. A combination of the two? Combined with the sword array? Master of the Martian stared, then nodded. Master, the killing trick you just cast, in the final analysis, is still performed by the magic town Tianfa array, which belongs to a method of matrix method. Since it is a matrix method, in principle, it can be combined with other matrix methods, and naturally can also be combined with the master's sword array. But the process is more complicated, and the master may have to spend some time before it can be done. It doesn't matter if it takes some time, as long as it is thousands or thousands of years. It is worth my try. Jian Wushuangdo. Thousands of years and tens of thousands of years will not be too much. After all, the master of the gods and magic towns of Tianfa formation, you have completely mastered it. According to my estimation, the master will combine his sword array with the murderous tricks of the gods and magic towns of Tianfa formation. It should take decades to do it, Stone Mars said. Okay, then study for decades. Jian Wushuang smiled. He did not return to the Scorpion Castle, but in this void, began to try to study. However, the Lord of the Dragons has completely become the object of his trial of the sword formation, and the Lord of the Dragons is afraid to complain. The time passed every day, and it took only 26 years for Jian Wushuang to make an unknown number of attempts before finally combining his wave of light sword array with that of the magic town and heavenly array. He is also in that void, and is also the Lord of the Dragons, under the cover of the huge golden circle. Walking around the circle of law, on the 3 towering town monuments, the 3 golden gods and ghosts have also condensed, and the greatest power has erupted. With that repressive force, the monster dragon lord was suppressed madly, so that the strength of the monster dragon lord can only play at most 50%. Magic dragon pick up. Qi Jian Wushuang smiled, and the 3 monuments of the town in time were gigantic, as if the sword-like golden light burst out. At the same time, Jian Wushuang's wave of light sword array has also been launched. The sky's sword-like ocean rolled up a wave of sword-like waves. It is noteworthy that the mighty golden light did not take long after it was plucked out, and it combined with the sword-like ocean to each other. And for an endless time, the sword-like wave with the golden light was overwhelmingly impacting the demon dragon lord. Come here, this golden light sword waves the mighty sky. A random wave of sword-like waves rushed, and that power was enough to make the ordinary third-order master dominate the color. The dragon lord held the purple stone stick tightly in his right hand. He also noticed the arrogance of the heavy golden light sword wave around him, and immediately shot. The stick smashed out, but only a few collisions. The face of the dragon lord changed. How is it possible that although I can only exert about 50% of my strength, even if I have 50% of my strength, it is definitely the 3rd level advanced combat power, and it is still a lot stronger than the average darkest strongest. But now when I go on a stick, I still use the rule of the most precious magic soldier, but I just barely crushed a heavy golden sword wave. The dragon lord was a little dazed. He was absolutely crushing the sword unparalleled in strength before. Jian's unparalleled wave lightsaber array is on display, and he can cause the entire sword array to collapse by more than 1 stick at will. Now, although his own strength has been suppressed, he can show it at will, and the entire sword formation should be shaken. When the actual result came out, he put it on display with a stick, but it was just the first heavy sword wave from the surrounding assault. In other words, the power contained in a single heavy golden sword-like wave is not weaker than him, and it is estimated that it is already the strongest blow of the strongest in the dark area. Like the first axe of 1,000 killing emperor, I'm afraid that Wei Neng is equivalent to a heavy sword. He must know that the first axe for the 1,000-slave monarch is the skill of the 1,000-slave monarch. After 1 axe, he must reaccumulate his strength before he can cast the second axe. But now in this sword array, the endless golden sword-like waves are coming. Each heavy golden sword-like wave is comparable to the first axe of the 1,000-slaying monarch, which is terrible. The Lord of the Dragons also had to make a full shot to defeat the heavy golden sword-like waves around it. 1, 2, or even dozens of waves were okay. He could resist it. Dozens, hundreds of times. After the impact, even the Dragon Lord couldn't stop it. Magic Dragon, use your strongest trick to see if you can break my sword array. Jian Wushuang said in a loud voice. The Lord of the Demon Dragons did not hesitate, and saw a terrible evil sweeping up, and on his face, black scales appeared one after another. He has revealed part of the body. He followed closely. A gleam of light appeared on the surface of his body, but the purple stone stick in his hand waved out one after another. Boom, boom, boom. 3 consecutive sticks, each containing explosive power, directly bombarded the surrounding sword-like ocean. The strongest trick of the Lord of Dragons, and the strongest trick that the rule of the magic weapon is used to cast. The power is amazing. 3 consecutive sticks can be bombarded on the sword-like ocean. Although it makes the entire sword-like ocean, it shuddered a lot, and the sword-like waves that were heavy and heavy defeated one after another, and the entire sword formation collapsed. But that was only the case. In just a few moments, the entire sword formation completely recovered, and a large number of golden sword-like waves continued to endlessly impact the demon dragon lord. This Lord Dragon's eyes widened, and his head was a little cyan. And Jian Wushuang saw this scene, but laughed. Yes, the wave of light sword array, and the magic trick of the town of heaven and magic array. The two perfectly combined, complement each other, so that the power of this sword array enhanced too much. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. Before that, he fully exerted the wave lightsaber array, and the power of the heavy saber wave was barely comparable to the ordinary attack of the third series. As for the toughness of the array, some powerful dark areas are the strongest. He'll be able to break open his formation. But now, in combination with the killing moves of the Magic Town Heavenly Formation, the golden light covers the surface of the sword wave, and the whole wave of sword formation has undergone earth-shaking changes. Now that his wave of lightsaber array is unfolding, each heavy golden sword-like wave impact power can be comparable to the strongest hit of the darkest strongest, and it can be comparable to the level of the first axe of the Thousand-Slave Monarch. To the degree of tenacity, even the demon dragon, one of the 10 kings, can't break through the strongest killing tricks by the rule of the magic weapon. Comparing this one by one, there is too much power to improve. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.